Alrighty then. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're at. Hello, ladies and gents, all you fine folks. Let's see here. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Let's see here. What's up? Forgot you gotta do it. Can't do it this way. Gotta do it this way. United States doesn't matter too much, but from what I hear, in the UK it does matter. So we're going to be try to be correct here. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm kind of borderline. So, and we'll get into that. Actually, it doesn't. We don't have to even delay that. So after the Hangout Sunday, last Sunday. Of course, it wasn't on Sunday, Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday. Well, I started feeling like this weird cough. Kind of feeling weird, right? I'm like, what is going on here? So what I did was I said, well, it's probably just, just stuff flying in the air. It's just allergies, whatever. It seems like it affects me more now that I'm older. It's like I said, it seems like they tell you that if you were younger and you weren't allergic to anything, you probably will be when you're older, and vice versa. I'm like, okay. So guess what? I didn't have anything when I was younger. I was just fantastic. But now, guess what? Anyway, so I'm thinking that's the problem because it's like completely haywire here, right? I'm like, oh, okay. So a couple of days go by, I got this, now I'm getting a fever. I'm going, oh, Christ, where are we going? What's going on now, right? So Wednesday, I decided to go to the doctors, get checked up. Of course, they do the test. They give you the flu test up the nose. They do the swab in the throat. They do the other ones for COVID. Well, guess what? Waited 2 days later, nothing, nada. So I'm like, okay, so what the hell is it? So I was out of work for 2 days because I had to find out what was going on, and basically I felt like walking death. So it wasn't quite that bad, but you get what I'm saying. But I'm like, oh, okay. And so I went back to work today, still get a little bit of that weird drainage, and it still tickles my throat. I'm like, well, that could be that just pollen and stuff flying in the air. So I've been using these halls. I've been throwing these, especially was it Wednesday and Thursday? I was throwing these down my throat like they were Tic Tacs. So, yeah, we'll just see how long it takes before I have to eat one of these, because I'll be coughing and gagging and every other darn thing. But regardless, you get what I'm saying. So, yeah, it's always fun. So, that's the extent of that. It's good to see everybody in here. As always, you guys are awesome. Pete Ferrero's in there. Elaine Millard's in there. Daniel Lee's in there. Mr. John Sharp's in there. Long Island, New York is in there. Mimi Reacts is in there. Almera's in there. What's going on, Almera? Darren Martin's in there. Let's see. Mags K's in there. What's going on, Mags? Good to see you in there. Look at this is in there. It sounds weird when you say that, but just still rather cool though. Great for All's in there. What's happening? Let's see. Let me see. Mr. Kyle Harvey's in there. What's going on, brother? Good to see you in there. John Smith is in there. No, NASA doesn't have a straight answer? Come on. Would that be like that? Nah, they're not like that. They divulge all information. I think we're all just nuts. Jay McGuffey's in there. What's going on, Jay? Let's see. Andy Gambino is in there. What's going on, Andy? Good to see you in there. He says, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. What was that? Oh, okay. Mars the Second Genesis is in there. What's happening? Renee V's in there. What's going on, Renee? Good to see you in there. Yo, pizza. What's up? Thank you, Mr. Kyle. I appreciate you. Much love to you, brother. That's awesome. Man, you got the pizza, or are you going to deliver some? That'd be awesome. Hook me up, brother. I literally, this is no bullshit. I come out of work, and it's a little after 3. It takes me about 25 minutes, half hour, depending on traffic. I get home, I'm like, man, I got to throw something down my neck real quick. So I had like a little part of the sandwich. I'm like, let's go. Let's jump right into it. So here I am. So I do appreciate you, Kyle. That's awesome, brother. John Smith, he says, hi, Chris. What's going on, John? Good to see you in there. let's see. Is it Jurgen B? Am I pronouncing that correctly, or am I totally botching that? He said hi from Germany. If I am, just try to break it down into syllables. Maybe I'm just messing the thing up, and I don't mean any disrespect by it. Especially if English is my own language. I know a little Spanish, but poquito, this much. Let's see. Mimi's in there, like I said. Marco Best is in there. What's going on? He said, evening, Chris. Hope you feel better soon, man. You could be a carrier without severe symptoms. Anyhow, please show us your best close-up moon structures machinery found yet. Yeah, the I have to see if I can find those. I had I wish you would have noticed. You know what we're going to do? This is a good idea. I'm glad you kind of mentioned that in a sense. Why don't we do this? Like in the comment section, I'll ask you guys before we get on, or maybe a day before, I'll have you guys tell me what you want to see. This way I'll have already prepped, because I might have this on the external hard drive. I don't, even though this, well, you can see this right here. Well, you won't be able to see it, but let me see. You can see right here, I got so much crap on this screen, okay? And all of the folders, you'll see a couple of them, but there's nothing really there, right? All of that stuff is on my external hard drive. I just fire that up when I need it. It doesn't stay on all the time. Just in case the computer takes a hit, something happens, we're not losing everything, right? So that's what we try to do. We don't want everything completely botched up, so that's what we tend to do. We just go ahead and do that. It's just a lot easier. It works better, but just can't find the information right off the bat. So maybe a better idea to do that for you folks, where you guys can suggest stuff, and then we can go ahead and do that. And I was this close to getting on making a video. Was it? Actually, it was yesterday. I ended up getting, I had forgotten that my son has this art program that they had during the year, and he had rewards, awards rather, and he got rewarded, let's put it that way. But, so we went to that, and he had like several awards. It's like, oh, awesome, fantastic, man, he does really good. So I was just like, oh, I totally forgot about that. I botched that up, because I was maybe just going to jump on a whim and just see what's going on. But yeah, that didn't happen. Because you folks would have seen me. So yeah, so unfortunately that didn't happen, didn't transpire. I was going to at least try to either get on or just make a video, which would have been good. But here's the thing too, this is what's cool. Already talked to the owner, and I can bounce back here a couple days out of the week. So so if I can get here to this job, right, work closer to home, I'll have a couple days, maybe knock out 2 or 3 videos a week, plus still have the Hangout. So that's in the mix right now. I know some of you guys are like, man, what's up, no videos. I promise you, it's not because of choice. Well, it is, because we're trying to get it up in the air and trying to figure out what scheduling will be, what would be the best way to work it, and find exact days when I can do this. So this way, because I'll be bouncing from like 2 stores. So, so that's basically what it comes down to. And it's like, it's so tough, because you're going, damn, I won't be home until whatever. See, before, at least if I worked late, it wouldn't matter. I'm literally like 6 minutes away from the job. Here, like I said, 25 to maybe even 35, depending on the traffic. It sucks. So if I can have like a couple days, I could be on this end, closer to home, it's like, bam, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm shooting for. So just hang in there with me. And I do appreciate you all, because I know you probably go, man, I'd love to see some more videos. And my apologies, I really do. But we're going to see what we can do. I definitely want to do it for you guys, because this stuff I got in the back burner right now, I got it right now in Photoshop that I love to be able to make videos. I got, I think, 3 on deck. Let me see. Josh D, what's happening? You said, Chris, hi Chris, hope you're fine. A little bit, a little drainage there and there, a little itching in the throat, the usual. It doesn't help that whatever it was that I had, if actually told me, well, there's a bunch of little tiny viruses going around too. I'm like, oh, of course. So it's all right. It's like, just builds up the immune more and more. But it's still aggravating, because like I said, I think it peaked out at maybe 101, and then I never seen 100 again after that. It just went down to like 99, 98. Then it was like, I looked a day or 2 later, and it was down to like 97. So it says, oh, 0. Oh, you're dead. Oh, So, yeah, you get the idea. So, definitely, that part of it cleared up. I'm still getting a little bit of itchy throat, and I'm still getting this drainage kind of going on. I'm like, yeah, well, this still sucks. It'll be all right, though. We'll keep on top of it and whipping its ass. Let's see, Richard Bunt's in there. What's going on, Richard? Good to see you in there. Alien Tenno's in there. Kyle, he said, moving to Tallahassee on the 16th. Brother, I wish I was there with you, man. I'm telling you, that's where I want to go. Just move down there and then pretty much live out the rest of your life. Here, it's like a dead zone, man. Is it beautiful out here? You know, the mountains, you just look at, there's certain areas that I go to, and you can look out over. You can just see for miles upon miles. Beautiful actual country area, right? But it's a dead zone. There's nothing to do. Like if I go down to Punta Gorda, Florida, I can go down there and literally, I can go down towards the beach. There's all kinds of bistros to eat at. You can go to any kind of, they've got like live entertainment. You know, if you're into like, you know, going to like bar rooms and stuff. Okay, and I don't mean like dives. I mean cool places, you know, some lounges. It's just really, really nice. You can literally walk the beach. Well, let's get a steak. All right. And just walk off the beach and right there. Here, forget about it. It's trash. It's out of reach, and you can go to, I'm like in between two big cities. So it's about a half hour, 40 minutes away. And, you know, I can go to either or. Problem is, it's not that nice. And, you know, do you want to travel that far for an okay place? Mediocre. No. Rather not. Man, Pete Ferreira says pizza and wings with a side of cheesecake today. That reminds me, I still got some cheesecake in there. I got some strawberry cheesecake. Thanks for reminding me about that. Long Island, New York, what's up? You said, Chris, we need more Pluto. Ganymede and Zip. Yeah. I was watching, remember I had done Pluto before. And bong, taco smell. Had that at lunch. Anyway, the best one I've probably done about Pluto is the one I had already done, well, not long ago. And it shows these weird looking rocks with these designs on them. So are they really rocks, or are they structures that we're just not familiar with, shapes and stuff like that, the way they would build? I think a lot of these other, you know, civilizations, they probably built to make it look more like the terrain, so you're not easily seen. It just seems weird that they would, some of the shapes and buildings and structures just really, really wild looking. Of course, the way they manipulate them, it could be like a bunch of buildings, but yet because the way they kind of mush it over, it just looks like one large building, which has a really difficult shape in your mind. You're just kind of, what the hell is that? You know, you're trying to figure it out, but I don't know. It's just really, really cool. That video I did about there was probably the best one, because it had a lot of really cool stuff in it. Corey, what's happening? Glad you can jump in there and see what's going on. Good to see you in there as always. Says hello. Hope you're doing good, Corey. Planetary Protector says, good afternoon, everyone. Well, good afternoon to you, P&P. Well, PP. Well, don't sound good, does it? Anyway, Planetary Protector. Good to see you in there. Maxima W is in there. What's going on, Maxina? I'm sorry. That's the way I seen that first. I was like, what the heck? Maxina W. The Emperor. Corey, a.k.a. Johnny Blaze. Elaine, I'm just reading yours. Sheesh, I said, enjoying my supper, listening and reading comments on, in my shed, alarm just going off. 9:50. Really? Just woke neighborhood up 130 dB. That's not good. Must be a spider or something. And no one is. I've got one. This is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys will even see this thing on here, but I don't know if I'll be able to bring it up. Let me see. This is pretty cool. Let me see if I can find this. You probably won't, though. Let me see if I'll be able to see the screen at all. Hold on. Yeah, I may not even be able to do it. Let me see. This is actually pretty cool. Bring that way up again. Whoop. I can't even see it. But anyway, there's this giant bumblebee that literally comes right to the camera. It literally comes up to the camera, goes like this, and you just see it fly away. It's just really, really wild. Pretty cool stuff. You don't usually see that very often. Then the other day, there was like a bird just come right at it, looked at it, and then flew up and then took off. That's pretty wild. You never know what you're gonna find. Let's see, coyote, neighbor's cat, dog. What else have we seen? It's just really, really bizarre stuff. Normal animals, you don't care. Just, normal. But I tell you what, sometimes you walk out at the front door of my house and you just hear all kinds of just a whole big clan of friggin' coyotes going at it. Oh, let's see. Renee V, you said, after you closed Hangout last week, your viewers went up. I think 6:40, this was around 5 o'clock in the morning. Really? Huh. That's weird how that works, isn't it? No, they're not messing with anybody, and they're not shadow banning anybody or doing anything weird with the live feeds. Come on. Let me see. Oh, okay, Renee. You said they had watched but forgot the thumbs up. But now it stands at 2,800 views with 250 thumbs up. Strange. I know, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, usually here and you're thinking, how many times have we sat there? At least a few. We're sitting there watching, just freaking thumbs up or going down. I'm like, come on. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Mars Leaks, what's happening? He said, hey folks, late. Was lost in the Black Sabbath frenzy. I'm a effing supernaut. All right. Well, yeah, you got to love, especially the old Black Sabbath, man. I like a lot of the rock and stuff like Born Again, stuff like that, and Digital Bitch, stuff like that. Really, really good music. It's not something you probably want to listen to in front of your grandmother or people or stuff like that. But that's not my typical music. But I do like it. I listened to it when I was younger. Even if you get into like more cooler, slower stuff like Changes, Paranoid, War Pigs, all of them, just really, really good stuff. I don't know why they blocked this one out, Kyle. You said, plus you got a pack of all this crap. I'll have to move it all down there. Then you got to upload and unpack all this stuff. Yeah, that's one thing I really always hated about moving. It's like, oh my God. It's like, probably the best movie probably made in the past was that, you rent for so long, and then you go finally buy your own home and you go, oh yes. That's the only time you don't mind moving, because you're moving into something. You go, okay, when you buy it, it's now yours. Well, within reason. You're still paying taxes on it and everything else. So yeah, the government still has its hand in your pocket, but at least the house is yours and you're not renting and making some other scumbag rich. Most landlords are pretty cool. When I say scumbag, I mean the ones that are like slumlords, things like that. But I mean, that is the name of the game. If I have my own house and I'm renting it, then I'm going to rent it, but I'm going to take care of my tenants. I'm not going to just say, oh, well, don't worry about that broken window or those rats and them roaches. It'd be all right. You can't be like that. You got to just do it right? So, yeah, always fun. Jessica Robbins, what's happening? You said, anyone see the UFO over Ukraine getting shot at? But I seen a part of that. There was, what was it? Was it on YouTube or was it on Facebook? I think it was either, I'm trying to remember, it might have even been Twitter I saw that on. Which one was that on? I saw a part of it, I looked, and I was just like, what? And you could see it, I think the UFO way off in the distance, and it was like, you could see like sky, the lights from the city kind of going up at the sky and everything else, and you could just see that UFO, and I was just like, what the hell is that? Matt Patterson, what's happening? He said, hey, Chris, and everybody, happy Friday. Maybe says, would it be cool if it was a UFO? LOL. Yeah, that would have been pretty funny, wouldn't it? UFOs look into the camera. You see, just remember that batteries not included. Remember the little UFOs? They were just, that would have been pretty funny. John McDonald is in there. Josh D just said too. What's going on, John? Good to see you in there. I love when this thing jumps over here. Here we go again. Oh, and I gotta go back to this. Where is it at? All right. Long Island, New York, he said Ukrainian UFOs are just Russian drones. You know what? And that could very well be. But this thing looked pretty big. It was in the Ukrainian side, and it looked pretty darn big from the distance. So God only knows what it was. But either way, I mean, that could very well be it, too. Pete Ferrero, 2-planet-wide Mars quakes measured with an increase in Mars magnetic field. Yeah, it's starting to look a little more bizarre. Like I said, I think that planet is a little bit more alive, and I think it's been alive for a long, long time. The way they're making it sound is completely dead. Now, I don't think that's the case. I think the core is still active, even though they claim it's, well, it is, but it isn't, because they did have earthquakes. I mean, not earthquakes, but volcanic activity on the planet, right? So there is lava, obviously. There's, you know, it's still active. But I think there's much more to that planet than what they're saying. And like I said, we've seen this through the photos, so it's not even a secret. Even if there was nothing alive on that planet today, there was. You know, they make it sound like, well, we're looking for the building blocks. Oh, hell. Building blocks, whatever. Long time ago, those, we're not even, we're just like, there is no, you know, microbial, no macro. It's just life. So, you know, civilized life. They try to make it look like, you know, maybe we'll find something. Whatever. Yeah, no doubt. I was going to say that too, Long Island. I was going to touch on that. You said, Elon Musk bought Twitter. I hope he buys YouTube next. You know, that would be awesome. We can stop being shadow banned and, you know, blocked from certain content you can let out and whatever. Yeah, free speech. Who needs that? Equalizer, what's happening? He said, good evening, sir. Good evening to all my fellow anomalies. Anomalist, we can call them, right? That's awesome. Good to see you in there, Equalizer. Alusta, what's happening? Good to see you in there as well. Jessica, you said Russia shot it with traces for hours, didn't move, a bright light disk shape. Oh, that's what I saw. It was like really bright, but it's in the photo I saw was way in the background, right? Now, was it just a photo or was it a video as well? Not sure whether you said it was video or not. John Smith, he said, everything happening with Twitter is organic, apparently? Nothing to do with Elon buying it. Oh, I don't know. John Smith also says Black Sabbath with Ozzy. Oh, yeah. I like old West Coast rap, a little half dead. Yeah. Let me see. Jessica says Priest. Judas Priest rocked. Yep. Yes, they did. I didn't know that, Alien Teddy. So Ozzy has COVID-19, by the way, and it's not looking good for him. Really? Zulu Vivon, what's happening? Hope you're doing well. How's work? Also, will you be doing lunar recon orbiter images? Yeah, I definitely want to get back to these, man. It's just been crazy for me. Like I said, I don't know if you've been following along, Zulu, but like I said, I've went from one job, same owner, to another store, and I've been working that, straightening that out. It's been a complete nightmare. But it's also a lot further away and at different hours. So now it's not like, you know, go in for 5 o'clock, get out maybe 12, 1 o'clock. I get the afternoon to do what I want. Now it's, you go in at about 7:30-ish and get out of there around 3 or 4, which really kind of complicates things. By the time you're done at the end of the day, you're kind of like, you know, your butt's been kicked. So, because like I said, I do pretty much all physical work all day. So, excuse me. So, I'm like, okay, but I was just saying, I'm going to try to bounce like 2 days, you know, at this other place where it's only like 6 minutes away from my house, go back to the old store, and then I can work a couple days there. Therefore, I can get, you know, slide a couple videos, still do the live feed. So, you know, all I'm asking is people just to be patient, and we're going to try to knock it out. See what happens. Jesus. I mean, he said buying a house is impossible in my town unless you have about 2 million euros to spare. Damn. That's not good. Yeah, exactly, Pete. He said NASA using copter on Mars to find debris on landing craft. Perfectly clear picture for that mission. Yeah, makes you wonder, huh? It's like you can see the way they hand the pot of the top of the. I don't know if that would be the crane though, would it? I was trying to remember because I know I had that cover, the round cover, plus other pieces laying there. I'm like, oh, okay. So those look pretty clear though, didn't they? I said the same thing. I went, huh, imagine that. Richard Bunt, he said, I'd be sure there was a, see what I mean? The throat, getting that itch. Hold on. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. He said, be sure there was a war on the planet, and once upon a time, we were all on that planet. Living there, that's why we feel that planet Mars so well. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, might be just nothing more than, well, wait a minute. I'll show you the article in a minute. I was just going to show you it now. But that's why I'm thinking Panspermia is more the answer. We were probably from Mars at one point. So, and like I said, some scientists concur because they say your biological clock, the way your body is, less gravity, you would have been a lot better, on Mars than you would be here on Earth. So, kind of makes sense, right? I'll show you this article too. It's pretty cool. I'm sure some of you have seen it if you're all over these science pages, right? Whoops. Sean Ward, what's happening? Good to see you in there. So good evening, everybody. What's going on, Sean? Hope you're doing well. me see. James Gregan, what's happening? Good to see you in there. Well, yeah, this thing did jump on me. Holy crap. Yeah, Josh, rather. I was just seeing that too. He said one of the James Webb telescope instruments is fully aligned since today. I was just looking at I was looking at the Space News page, right? And they were talking about that. It's pretty much tweaked now where they're going to start getting really phenomenal pictures. I can't even wait. Of course, like I said, they're never going to show you what's really out there. I mean, I'm sure they're going to find all kinds of crazy things out there. And they'll be just like, oh, we don't see that. You know, because they could probably zoom in big time and really get an idea of what's going on in certain areas of the universe. So that'll be interesting. CJ Arnold, I like the way he put that. He said, 6 a.m. here in South Oz. Glad to be back, Chris. Couple weeks in dreamland, COVID, not vaxxed, fought it off, and I'm asthmatic. No need for jabs, folks. Couldn't taste a thing. Weird. Well, it was the same thing. Like my daughter caught it too. What I had the last couple of days, I've still got, like I said, that drainage and that weird itch. And I hate that. It's one thing to be talking for a while where your voice dries up. And you'll notice I do that, you know, because you're literally, that's why I'll start drinking more and more because I'm trying to wet, you know, my throat. But you're sitting there talking so much that your throat dries out, literally dries out. Next thing you know, you get this raspiness in there, and then you get this itch, and it pretty much drives you insane. But yeah, I mean, she had it. She said, "Wow, I don't have any like taste," or she said if she can breathe in real deep, she could smell a little bit, but that was it. So I was like, "Oh, okay." She said, I think she said she could smell, but she couldn't really taste anything as far as drink or anything. I'm like, what? Really weird, but it's almost like a mini version, as far as I'm concerned, or a little offshoot of the COVID. I'm like, listen, you know, whatever it takes, you know, you try to beef up your immune system, zinc, you know, vitamin C, all that crap, and just stick it to it. You know what I mean? John Smith says, natural immunity is king. Yeah, absolutely. Zulu, you said, will you be doing more lunar reconnaissance orbiter images? Also, do you think that the beings on the moon allow themselves to be seen to those seek them? I don't know if I'd say allow. I don't know if they would allow you. I think it's just that people are, more and more people, you know, good people that are doing this kind of work, with telescopes are seeing some really, really cool stuff. So they're probably not, I would imagine they know that our technology is growing and getting much better. So even the average person on the planet can just like, you know, look up, even if you don't have something super powerful, you really don't. You can look at the whole moon. You don't have to be up against a crater, but you can actually see things coming and going. Now, of course, you're going to be careful it's not something in orbit of Earth, you know, because then it kind of, clearly it defeats the purpose. But if you pretty much got the whole moon in sight, and you see something go real fast, yeah, that's something orbiting around Earth. But if you see something kind of like just barely moving across the lunar, you know, the surface itself, then you go, oh, okay, something there, or it just kind of turns and it just slowly moves. Yeah, then you've got something there, you know. But I don't think they're just going to go out and go, hey guys, we're here. So I think it's just something by chance you would catch them, right? And yeah, I'd still like to, like I said, get back to the reconnaissance photos, because those are just, some of those are just wild as hell. I like that, Jessica. There's a guy in the sky, always there, can feel my stare. MD Toe, what's happening? I don't know if I said hello yet. He said, Elon is stupid. All Twitter is an email program on a hard drive. Facebook, for that matter, as well. Total real price for Twitter is about $150, just like Facebook. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a platform to do whatever. You know, whatever that one particular one is. Kind of like TikToks and, you know, some other silly sites. But although it can be amusing, it can be entertaining, but it's, if they can just stop censoring people from putting whatever they want on, that's all people ask. It's just like here on YouTube, same thing. And like I said, you know, you just don't know. You know, you're thinking like here, like when you post something on there, you think you'd be like, oh, this would be great. We can have more and more videos, and people, the information will get out. Well, like I said, you're building up sub, it just dies right off. It's like completely dies off. You know as well as I do, even if it crawled and you got, you know, subscribers slowly but surely, it'd be past where we're at. We've been at the same mark for God knows how long. It's ridiculous. You know, makes no darn sense. Alien Tanner, he said, over the last few years, all of the anomalies that are happening just on Earth saw an inner system being affected as well. My opinion is Nibiru is approaching. The mainstream media call it global warming. Yeah, well, you know, it's hard to tell, but there is an actual planet out there. I mean, there's an extra planet. Well, if you consider Pluto, I still consider it a planet, even though they call it a body. I still consider it still a planet. And, of course, they go by, well, it's only so big and blah, 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 whatever. But they still say there's a 10th planet. So, yeah. Kurt Abanus, what's happening? Good to see you in there. Live long and prosper. Oops. Your Highness, what's happening? Said, hello, Chris. What's going on? Hope you're doing well. I've done that too, Mimi. You said, Chris, you should drink lots of herbal tea. Believe it or not, the only thing that bothers me is this itch. You can deal with a little, you know, drainage. It's not really a big deal, right? Let me see. Oh, it did jump again. I'll be damned. Let me see. All right, so we got custom tailored ones in there. What's going on? Good to see you in there. Simply Steve 68. What's going on, Simply Steve? Or Steve? Who else jumped in there? Got to see how far I got to go back. I think I said hi to Robert Morgan. I'm not sure, but hello, Robert, if I did not. It's funny because you can literally go down slowly, just go down, all of a sudden it just drops and you just see just like a flash, and you're like, oh, maybe it's just jumped a few. No, it jumped about a few tens of whatever. You're like, you get to go back. Oh, this is where it started off. Okay. Forgot to hit the thumbs up, Mars Leak says. Hit it, folks. Hit it good. Mars Leak, you can't mention, we're going to use the term covey. You're going to use like covert words, right? On YouTube. It's sad. It really is. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand things like hate speech, people getting beat up like a bunch of pack of wolves under one person, things like that. That stuff should not be allowed. It's just perpetuating hate, as far as I'm concerned. Even kind of kidding around, it kind of still perpetuates that. You know, physical whatever, whether it's physical abuse, just unjustified beat downs, like 5 or 6 people beating up one person just randomly. It's just ridiculous, and then they wonder why people are getting shot, because it's like, well, you're not going to pull that crap on me, and then of course people are getting shot in the process. So yeah. Let me see. C.J. Arnold said all of the planets in the solar system are having changes observed. I guess you're saying to the actual poles itself. So why not us? We are just a pale blue dot. Well, the thing is, if that is happening, again, it's got everything to do with the sun. So if you have, if the sun is warming, it's going up its 11-year cycle, well, then every planet in the solar system is going to actually heat up. This is common knowledge. This is not, global warming, because it's solar warming. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't contribute to warming itself, meaning separate situation. The planet's going to go through its own change every year, or every 11 years, because it's an actual cycle. So it has an uptick and then goes back down. So that happens whether you like it or not. It's going to happen. So then you have then what we're doing, contributing, which is not helping. So yeah, you add it all together, it's not a good thing. Period. I'm going to jump down here. Oh yeah. Let me see. Yeah. James Craig, thank you very much for your support, brother. I do appreciate you. Said Chris, a drop of honey and warm water and drink, man. Well, you know what? It's like these halls. I got the honey in them, so it's supposed to coat, which helps a great deal. But yeah, I agree with you. A little warm water. Oh yeah, shit works really good. But I'm going to do that after I get off of this, because it gets to the point it's like really irritated. You're like, oh my god, here we go again. Sean, why I like that. Hit the like button. Careful with the coffee mug. It gets stuck on the screen. Oh, in the screen. Yeah, I hate it when that happens. So, that's not good, right? Let me see. All right. Whitebeard Sky Daddy, what's happening? Good to see you in there. Josh D says, I'll be out a few minutes. Need to reboot. Oh, that ain't good. Circumference. I like that. That's pretty cool the way you did that. Circumference. Hello, Chris. What's happening? Good to see you in there. Zulu, you were asking how much of the truth do you think the things on the moon will allow humans to know? Like how much of our human history or truth about the history? I don't know. That's a great question. See, let's suppose, and I guess you're implying that they already know everything about us because they were probably there prior to us, maybe? So they know everything that's going on and probably been watching Earth for X amount of millions of years. So, and it doesn't even have to be that long. Could have been 100,000, 200,000, maybe a quarter of a million. You know, is that a possibility? Yeah, I mean, I guess if you were to go up there, and let's suppose that they are on the moon and they're living under the lunar surface, and somehow you were able to go there and you were to talk with them, be friends with them and everything else, then they can actually give you like maybe a library or some kind of digital library to tell you how we actually evolved. I don't know. Really good question. But that's the only way. Unless, of course, you go like, what was that? What was that? I don't remember what ancient civilization it was, but remember they had like, if you go on this lake, you could go on this lake, and then it was like it's supposed to go underneath the lake and then back up, and they found those. Remember the gold? It was like pages or like to a book, but they were like almost like a gold tin, if you will. And it was basically a library, golden library. So if you had something like that you found on the moon, maybe in some like ancient, alien civilization or something like that lived under the surface, and somehow you found that, wouldn't that be neat if you could do that? Just picture, I mean, you're sitting there like, you can dream about it, just thinking about it, going, oh yeah, that would be pretty cool. You're literally walking around as the astronaut, and you find this like this structure type thing. You can literally go underground, and there's this huge area, and it has all of these things like libraries about what happened on Earth, and maybe somewhere else in the solar system, an exosolar system. That would be pretty neat. But that's a great question. I wish I knew the answer. That would be pretty cool. That's a great question too, John. You said, I wondered, did past civilizations visit the moon? Well, from the studies we had done, and of course Sarah had done a long time ago, where she had done the whole thing, because like I said, I've got another Antarctica page you can check out, and it's like there was a civilization there. But after they'd done some soil samples and checked this out over, it's like 94 to 125,000 years ago, they found that there was industrialization there. So this was happening for quite a few years. And there's structures and everything else. We've done videos on it. It shows structures right in this friggin' area. So if that was there that long ago, is that possible that they were intelligent enough to go to the moon? Very good possibility. You look at the Mayans. You got Kukulkan. You got all of these, these writings and stuff like that, and etched in stone, talking about how, that they came. Well, he went back to he was Lord Bakal, especially Lord Bakal, where it shows him like he's in this like looks like a spacecraft. He's like got controls in his hands, and so the way they talk about it is they were either. The way you'd have to read it. Some of them say that, depending on the civilization, ancient civilization, their writings talk about how there were wars in the heavens, there were wars on the moon. Annunaki were talking about how Mars was, they were mining there as well, not just Earth, and that there might have been warring on Mars as well. It's just really, really wild to just read this stuff, because you're going, either this stuff actually happened, and they found it imperative to write about it, or there were some really good sci-fi writers back in the day, even back in the day. So, I don't know. What do you think? Let me see. Mr. James Gregan, thank you again for your support, brother. I do appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Leslie, well, that just jumped on me too. Where'd that go? Am I losing my mind here? Leslie Ann Warren, thank you. I don't know if I said thank you earlier. But it said, hey, you. He's got glasses on. It's pretty funny. I do appreciate you. Thank you. That's what happens when you sit there and rattle on. You don't see these go by. It's a horrible. Oh, okay. A lot of good questions. This thing jumped on me here. Let me see here. Circumference, thank you very much for your support as well. I do appreciate you. He said, how's it going? The pair just cracks me up because some of the things that thing does, some of them are flying, some of them are like, hey, what's up? That's pretty funny. But thank you. I do appreciate you all, man. I really do. Let's see. Jessica Roberts, you said Admiral Byrd said he saw some of the weird stuff that could wipe us out at the pole. What was that like in the 40s and 50s? Now they block the poles from view and say nothing there, but don't go. We'll shoot you. Yeah. Well, Admiral Byrd, he actually went into like into underground, and then there's ponds. Before he even did that, he said as he was flying through, there's lush area, warmer temperatures, no ice, no nothing. It was like the Amazon up there, which is really weird. So either there's some volcanic vents coming up through, and they're just heating up a valley, which is a good possibility. You're getting moisture, right? We know that. So, and then you just have this lush, greenery. I don't know. Or something's controlling the area and keeping the temperature up and keeping everything nice and like an Amazon. But here's the thing. It was, at one point, before the last ice age, they found that it was like an Amazon area back, I think before that last ice age. So if you think about it, you go, wow, it's like the Amazon jungle? That's just crazy. Now look at it now. It's like under a sheet, 2 or 3 miles of ice in some areas? Yeah. But yeah, that was actually a good story about Admiral Byrd. Really pretty cool stuff. Eagle One says, hi, it's been a while. I guess so. Yeah, it has been a while. Good to see you here. And Habit Mom says, hi, everyone. Oh, everybody. I am finally here. I had to finish up some things before I could join. Have I missed anything good? It's all good, but special? No, we're just kicking back and talking about different things like Admiral Byrd's story and the different things here. Robert Morgan says, lemon water, warm, with honey to coat the throat. Talking to me and everyone else, but bad colds use chopped garlic in warm water. Yep, that works too. I've tried that before. I don't know. It's a great question, John. You said dinosaurs weren't working out well, so did they reset the planet? And how many times have they done it? Well, it just might be just, because they say catastrophic event as far as, meteor shower and just pretty much killed off the dinosaur. Because even if you still lived, if you lived on the other part of the Earth, if you had large enough impact, which they say we did, it was like 65 million years ago, that it literally just put the whole planet into nuclear winter. Clouds would just, in dust and everything else would just cover the sky, and sun wouldn't be able to get through for X amount of, maybe a year or two or whatever, and everything pretty much dies. No sun, everything drops dead. So even if you could live through the impact, and you're on the other side of the planet, it wouldn't matter. You're pretty much doomed at some point. Unless, of course, you live underground and you got food under there. And if maybe you live off of fungus or anything like that that's underground, you may be able to get away with that. Zulu, do you ever feel hopeless or helpless when you look at these structures? Does it ever feel like it's there but you can't do anything about it? Well, yeah. Obviously, if you see something just really wild, you're like, man, you wish you could get there and actually check that thing out yourself. Excuse me. And the only thing you can do is literally just go, okay, I can just look at the pictures and that's pretty much it. But I guess it's better than not seeing anything at all, because I've seen some real areas where it looks like you're literally floating over the lunar surface, and you can see from an angle, you see structures, just crazy, crazy things on the lunar surface. And you're going, just imagine yourself that you're there, like you can just put yourself into that photo and just have a look at it. It's just absolutely crazy. Oh, did I just turn this thing down? Hello. Okay, I guess it's all right. It just looked like it was lower. Okay, we're good, I guess. Let me see. Yeah, Renee, I agree with you. It's like everyone accidentally crashing something on the moon, too accidentally, all by chance. Yeah, I agree with you. Kyle, you said there's ancient cave paintings in France. There's ancient cave paintings in Australia and all over the world. That's a fact. Yep. Yeah, you were just Kyle. You were just talking to Mars League. She said the universe is full of life and full of remnants of life. Oh yeah, it's full. I think. Well, maybe you were saying full, but either way, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just when you stop and think. Come on, it's just we're just looking at just a couple photos here. Well, even Pluto, where you see some really wild things you should not see there. The moon, Mars, and you know there's much more than that. Here's the thing. It's on a moon. So unless this moon, like they say, we have stories about it being towed into place. There's a time without the moon. If you go by that theory, then how do we know that wasn't a planet at one time? As crazy as that sounds, because we look at it, obviously it's our moon. But how do you know that? You look at Mars, it looks like a lot, it's like gigantic, it's like a giant moon. It has a bunch of craters on it, supposedly no life at all. It's kind of the same way. How do we know? Because there is actually moonquakes, right? So how do we know that wasn't, because there was lava, how do we know that wasn't a planet at one time and now it is what it is now? And it was brought here. Stripped of everything on the surface except for whatever's colonizing on it. How do we know? No way of knowing. Cameron, you said, how are you, Chris, on this Friday? I'm doing well, Cameron. I hope you're doing good. Good to see you in there as always. It's always good to see you stop in here, say hello, see what's going on. 786 Otto's in there as well. What's going on? Hi, Chris. Did you not see much of your videos recently? Yeah, I haven't really been making them. If you go to the community page, you can see what I've been writing about the job situation where I'm actually going from the store I was at to where I'm at this other store. It's further away, different hours, so on and so forth. But like I was telling these other folks that what I'm trying to do is get 2 days down this end where it's closer to home. It allows me to make videos again. And of course, we'll be always doing the live feed. But I want to start knocking these videos. I got a bunch of them I need to knock out. So that's starting to look like the better way to go. So yeah, we'll be getting some more of these done. Like I said, I'm just asking everybody to just be patient because like I said, I'm trying to get these situated so I can get like, you know, who knows, try to get, like if I work a couple days there, it could be, like if I work like a Wednesday and maybe a Friday over here, it breaks up the week for me and then I can, of course, I can get these things done. It'd be easier for me, right? Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's probably pretty much where I sit right now, 786. Or Mr. Otto, depending on how you want to look at it. Alfie Joe Bob, I didn't see you sneak in there. Good to see you in there. Of course, this thing has jumped on me several times, so yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Lionheart at Glassworks, what's going on? He said, yay, I made it tonight. I'm listening and melting glass for a festival tomorrow. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Well, you too, I appreciate that. And that's pretty cool art. You know, like I said, melting glass and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome. We were, according to the Annunaki, John Smith, he said, are we the slave race created to mine gold? According to the story, yes. Now, whether we were or not, I don't know. But that was the Annunaki story. Or the Sumerians, I'm sorry. The Anunnaki is what came here and took the, we're just going to use the term caveman, if you will, just gave him a little bit more smarts, messed with our DNA, made him more smarter, and got him to be basically workers, you know, just mining gold. So, which is pretty sweet, right? I thought that was, it's a cool story if you really think about it, but maybe not so cool, but only because they're a slave race. But on the other side of the token, if you read the story more and more, they were like, okay, we're done with this right now, so we can go ahead and kill off that race that we created. They were like, no, 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 no. A lot of the leaders weren't having it. And the story was, no, no, just leave them the way they are. And just let them evolve. And that's how they left us, and that's what we did. Brian Norton, thank you very much, sir, for your support. That's awesome, man. He said, pick me, LOL. Shrek dog, yeah. Pick me, remember that? Hang in there, Chris. We will always love what you do. I appreciate that, Brian. I really do, and I do appreciate your support as always. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm just raring to go. I'm so used to doing these that I can't, and it's kind of pissing me off. But on the other side of the token, they have compensated me a little bit more. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to get rich and going to be driving around in a limousine. That's not going to be happening anytime soon. But yeah, a little bit extra. So it's to compensate for obviously the driving a little further away and a little bit extra. So that's fine. So I'm cool with that, of course. So, but like I said, if I could change them 2 days, that'd be like slamming. That'd be awesome. And this way I could just do those 2 days, and like I said, I could be home faster and be able to knock these out. So that works. That will work, that's for sure. Man, you guys are just awesome tonight. Matthew Luz, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Hi, Chris and everyone. I stumbled across Spaceport America in the New Mexico desert recently, kind of by accident. Let me make sure I'm reading the whole thing. It was really cool to see such a facility in the middle of nowhere. Do you know anything about this place? Because I've heard of it. Truthfully, I don't know. I'd be lying to you if I had any kind of details on it. I did hear about it, but that's the extent. So I'm almost positive, though, I've seen, when you say it's in New Mexico, I remember seeing a photo of it. Now, it seems to me, I'm trying to see if, the way they were building this thing, it looked like it had, like it already had like launch pads or some kind of weird structures and stuff already there. Now, again, I don't know too much about it, but I really should look into that. I'm glad you reminded me of that. So that's awesome that you mentioned it. In fact, let me write this thing down. Spaceport, New Mexico. Spaceport? Well, you can't see it, can you? Anyway. I hate it when it does that. I got all the other STS pictures that I had taken. Well, all of the different, just turn it this way. STS photos from like STS 88, all of those missions there. That's the one that has the Black Knight. And so I had a bunch of the photos already on my hard drive, and I gave them to Billy. So when they did that, the video coming out, the Black Knight documentary, that I'll be in as well, that's going to be the photos there. And then, of course, he's got my enhanced photo because, like I said, it's blanket, 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 blanket. Oh, what is that? That's not a blanket. So, yeah. So I give my theory about that as well as the enhancement. It does not look like a blanket. So, really, really cool stuff. But I do thank both of you for that generous contribution as well, Matthew and Brian. I do appreciate you guys. And, of course, everybody else. Because to me, like I said, support is support, no matter what, right? Just the, hey, man, you're doing great with the videos. That makes me feel good. That's support. So it's just great. But when you guys do this as well, it just makes my heart feel good. I do appreciate you guys, and I really mean that. So thank you. Oliver Klein, what's going on? Good to see you in there as well. I don't know how I missed you, but I did. Gene Borsier, what's going on? Borsier, I'm sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. What's happening, Gene? Good to see you in there. Oliver Klein, here, you got brain. Go dig gold out of the dirt. That's pretty good. John Sharp, Chris, the Black Knight is Jean Ward's old coat. Yeah. David Sonez, am I pronouncing that correctly? I hope so. Hi, Chris. How are you today? I'm doing well, David. Thank you for asking. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing good, too. Yep, just kicking it here, and after another long day. You know what? This is what really sucks, guys. They had like 2 trucks a day they were delivering to that small store. Not 2 trucks a day, I'm sorry. It was Tuesday and Thursday that they were doing, right? I'm like, oh, man, this is super, man. I can have Saturday off. I haven't had like a weekend to myself again. Wow, this is up. Nope. So now that we've got a new warehouse, in fact, it's the same warehouse we got here. The other one was using 1 or 2 other different ones. It's really weird, bizarre. I won't even get into it. But what I found was interesting is that they went, well, we're not going to do Thursday now. We're going to do Saturday. I went, oh, my God. well, there goes that. Let's just burst that balloon, right? I'm like, oh, well, you can't escape it no matter what. I was kind of, because that would have been great because, believe it or not, my wife works on Saturday. I could just, boom, make videos then. Would have been great. No, I can't have that. So that's why, like I said, because that would have given me the whole day to knock at least 1 or 2 videos out, just that alone. But no, I can't have that, which sucks. But it is what it is, right? Leslie Ann, you said, I believe E.T. tried to contact NASA during the 60s, and NASA didn't listen. I don't believe that they were as long on the moon, but that with my dad input, he refused to work for NASA or be exchanged to Pentagon. Huh. Well, I kind of think the same thing, because if there's anyone on the moon, you would think they would have already would have chatted with them and, basically got to meet each other. First contact, so to speak, right? So you would have thought this happened a long time ago. But then you hear, well, they've been warned off the moon, so on and so forth. So really cool. And the other video, too, and I can't remember the name of it now, but it has, I'm not even going to remember his name. I actually watched part of it briefly last night, and it said something like, was it like 5 or 10 areas they didn't want us to visit on the moon? And I'm trying to remember, was his first name David? Might have been David, I'm not sure. But what I'll do is I'll find the thing, because it's actually on. Let me see something here real quick. Let me do it on here. Be easier. Instead of messing up the screen here. Not that it matters. Not doing anything special. But if you go to Discord, in fact, I'll get it for you guys right now. Let me see if I can get on this one here, if it's going to remember the password here. It should. Somebody had posted a really, really good video, but you're going to go, at first I'm like halfway through this video, I'm going, okay, this sucks. He's not mentioning anything about this, but when you get into, let me go here. I'm going to see if I can find this video for you guys, and then I'm going to go ahead and drop the link now. But when you're halfway through, it's like he's just sitting at a table. And let me see if I can find this thing here. Nope, that's not. Okay, it was just above this. There's another link here. Let me see. Okay, here it is. David Adair. Okay, so this guy is on here. And let me do this. Let me see. It should be right about, and I'll even give you guys the time. This is where I find really interesting, because this guy is like amazing what he's into. I'm going to give you the link. I'm going to drop the link right now so you guys can grab the link, even while we're on the live feed. Put it aside and just actually save it, because it's absolutely awesome. Where did it go? Should be about an hour and 2 minutes. Okay. So it's just going into. All right. So it's an hour and 2 minutes and 9 seconds. I want to drop that link to you folks. Really interesting. Now, don't get me wrong. You can watch the whole thing if you like to. But this is really, really cool. He starts getting into this. When you listen to this guy, he had like 5 or 7 projects. Took him like 40 years. Talking about different things, different engines he's built, so on and so forth. He says, we're going to show you a space program like you've never seen before. Nothing like they're doing now. I'm going to drop the link right now so you guys can check this out. Like I said, it's John Adair, and I'd love to have him on here. That would be sweet. But it's right around 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 9 seconds. He starts off, because the guy's asking him questions. Do you think there's anything on the moon? Do you think there's anybody living on the moon? This, that, and he says, he says to him it's kind of vague where he's seen some really kind of weird things. But he's talking about what they had on like the History Channel, talking about this weird bridge. Looked like nah, he hasn't seen nothing, man. He's just going by what he's seeing on there. But he also wants to be the one, he's going to put like nuclear satellites out in space, but he's going to do it the correct way. He's going to have it in pieces. In other words, it's not going to be going up as one piece where it can explode. They're going to go up there and he's going to piece them together there. And then they're going to like, just listen to it. It's just really, really wild. Really, really good stuff. And it was, Danny D put it up there. And it says NASA are in for a shock, and he's talking about how he's going to do it, his own space. And he says he's got like these one percenters that are like, what they mean by that is like filthy freaking rich people are like coming to him saying, listen, we'll give you X amount of like $1 trillion. This will be your budget to design these engines for us and do this and do that. And basically he's going to have like his own island, and he's just going to be working. That's all he's going to be doing. And then he's going to put this together, and he says, you guys wait until you see what's going to come out of this. So really, really interesting. If you get a chance, watch it. It's really good. And, I got it up here. David Adair, the 12 sites on the moon. I lied. I thought I said 5 or 10 of them. The 12 sites on the moon where NASA told us not to go to. And at first, I'm like I said, I'm an hour and 2 minutes into the thing. I'm going, where's this? So it's basically where he's talking to people, except for this area here, where he's sitting down at a table being interviewed, where the first half of that, the first hour, it's like 2 different times he's on stage, and so it didn't mention anything about it. I'm a little disappointed until I got to that area. Then it was fine. So check it out. It's definitely pretty cool. Odds and Crafts, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Yes. Yep. Leslie Andy said, he said the astronaut healed very quickly. Yeah, because there's no, like I said, the amount of gravity. There's no real, it just allowed him to heal. Remember that he said he had a wrap on his arm, and then when he pulled it off, he literally, it was, oh my God, you could see the stitches on the actual thing, but it was like all healed. It was just really weird. Yeah, he is. He is pretty amazing, Leslie, and I think he's the real deal. I don't think he's bogus. What's going on there, Rashomere Jones? Good to see you there. I love the way my voice sounds. You should have heard me on Wednesday. I swear to God, when I got up, I sounded like Rocky. Hey, Rocky, Adrian, you want to break me down? I mean, so deep and everything. It was, oh my God, it was crazy. Absolutely, you know what I mean? I didn't have to try. I just sounded like, I was like, what is going on here? It was pretty wild. Yeah, Lee Herring, what's going on, brother? Good to see you in there. You said you got to get Adair on. That would be awesome, because I think it'd be brilliant to have him on there, because the guy's just amazing, the stuff he talks about and how just brilliant he is. And I'd love to see that kind of thing. And I'd love to actually converse with this guy and say, do you, and I would ask him right out, so listen, between you and I wouldn't say anything anywhere, do you really believe, or do you actually know or do not know, in all honesty, what's on the moon? Because you would think a guy like this is high-tech as he is, can build his own engines, and they're talking about, I forget what, it wasn't plasma, it was something else. Maybe you know off the top of your head, Leslie Ann, or I'm trying to remember what engine he was talking about. Like I said, I watched it briefly up to that point. I didn't even watch the rest of it. I think I probably watched 10, 15 minutes into it. But I was watching the first half, meaning the first hour. And I'm trying to remember what he said. I'm going to draw a blank on it right now. Maybe it'll come to me in a little bit. But really, really cool. Yeah, that's what he said. He knew Neil did. Didn't he? Yeah. I'm not sure about that, John. He said, John Lair claims, of course, rest in peace, John Lair. There's 2 million people living on the moon. I'm not so sure about that. I'm really not. Is it impossible? Hell no. Because we don't know from the 1950s or even 60s. From there on, like I said, like I said before, we never stopped going. So I don't know if it was 60s into the 70s that they just kept sending people up. Now, when you listen to John Adair, I'm sorry, David, when you listen to David, he'll tell you, he'll say, well, he said, I don't know how they could possibly keep going unless, and guess what he said? Same thing I said. Unless somehow they were cloaked, of course he's kind of kidding around there, or basically like using something that can't be seen. You know, like the SR-71, things like that. Like radar invisible. So, you know, and I said this a long time ago. It's how hard it would be to retrofit something like that, which can land on the ground, a flat ground, and literally just go to the moon and come back. How hard would it be? You could use a regular, especially with the engines he built. Why would it be that hard to build something like that, retrofit the engines? Because he was even talking about the space shuttles, how if you take those engines off and put like something he has on there, he said you could probably be, what the heck would he say? Something about you could be on, what did he say? Something about Mars within X amount of time, like a month tops. It was just crazy. He said, you know, so if they had that technology and they've been working on it for years, you know, they could be going back and forth. Nobody would know it. You know what I mean? Nobody would know this. You could come and go as you please. If it's in absolutely at night, people just think it's a jet taking off. They wouldn't think nothing of it. You would fly right out into space. Like I said, you wouldn't be able to detect it and just go. Nobody would be none the wiser. But he did say, well, as many people have telescopes, you know, yeah, now. But what about back then? Not that many people had telescopes, at least not the average person, right? James Cragen, thank you again for your support, brother. He said, Chris, everyone check out the book called The Deception of Gods and Man by Barry Fitzgerald. It will make you question the UFO phenomenon, definitely. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've heard of them. I've never read the book or anything. But, yeah, something else I have to check out. Let me just write that down. Just, thanks for the reminder, by the way. The Deception of Gods and Man. Boy. Oh, okay, Barry Fitzgerald. Oops. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Because like I said, I've heard of it. I just really haven't gotten into it. Josh D. Oh, yes, I mixed the Adairs up. Oh, excuse me. It happens. Oh, you can get to the moon so much faster, too. John Smith, he said, travel in 6 minutes. Yeah, it would be minutes as opposed to 2 days to get to the moon, right? You'd literally be like... John Smith, he said, the moon rang like a bell when struck. Hollow or massive caves. Living under the surface would protect you from radiation and the temperature. Yeah, well, soil's going to do that anyway. You know that. What you're going to do is be like 5-6 feet under and you're protected. But it's possible it's like a Dyson sphere. So they're saying it's like just a shell, just picture a ball, just a shell, but then it's completely hollow except like a giant UFO city. Now, whether that's like that or not, I don't know. But it could be just large cavernous areas and they could have cities inside there. How do we know? Or they dug them out. Is that a possibility? Sure. Cloud 33 Studios, what's happening? Says, hey, Chris, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Steve Gotham's in there. What's going on, Steve? Good to see you there as well. Oh, yeah, these guys are all popping up in there. Write down Chewy, he said, John. Chewy. Chewbacca, Chris, there you go. I used to be able to make his sound when I was young. I can't do it now. Alien Tanner said, imagine this, being biological incorporating tech, a.k.a. Borg, but like most humans believe with a soul, where would that leave you? That's a great question. Hmm. Yeah, that would be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? Well, Leslie, what I'm talking about is like, would it be comparable to what's now? Because you said, not sure, Chris, but I had a telescope. So, but I'm talking about like in the 60s, maybe 70s, and is it comparable to what they have today? Highly polished mirrors in them, better alignment, better, refractors and reflectors. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Would it be comparable to something today where there's a lot more? And a lot of people, yeah, they had telescopes, like the smaller, skinny ones, but now they got much larger ones and stuff like that. And, optics being much better, so on and so forth. So that's what I mean by it. And a lot more people have them now, too. In other words, they're a lot more affordable than they used to be. All right, Cameron, you take it off. You said, good stream as always, Chris. Looking forward to when you upload again. Have a good weekend. You do the same, Cameron. Like I said, I'm always glad that you stop by. Just even if it's for a short time. I know you're just probably kicking it with the family. So I do appreciate you stopping by, and you and the family have a good one there, right? Jessica, he said, took me 10 minutes to remember to push the like button. Anyone else forgetting? Anybody else? Anyone? Oh. Ars Leaks, thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate you. So just wanted to contribute to the channel, Chris. I do appreciate it. Thank you. That's awesome. Pintu Gupta, what's happening? What is happening? We got a lot of new people showing up too, which is just awesome. And like I said, I definitely want to get this more rocking too. Like I said, I just want to get back into like a normalcy, some kind of schedule thing. And I know you guys are thinking the same thing. It's like, I know a lot of you guys are just like, hey, Chris, just take your time, brother. We're here with you. We're going to be chill with you anyway. But it's not just that. It's just me, myself. I'm like, I want to get this stuff out. It's something I just like, boom, I stopped. Now, don't get me wrong. It's kind of my fault. Because, well, when I say my fault, make it sound like I'm just like, oh, I really screwed myself. No, it's kind of like I wanted to do this because the new owner asked me, he was like, well, I'd like to get somebody down there. The store's a complete mess. And I went down there, looked at it. I said, good God, it's not a mess. It's a shit house. So when I went down there, I had to straighten every darn thing out. It took me about a week to just get all these aisles straightened out, and they're still not 100%. But now that we have the new warehouse and everything else, we're going to be straightening out everything. Every time something comes in, there's like a new tag. You straighten it all out, and before you know it, it'll be streamlined. And I get it pretty much nice now anyway. It looks really good. In fact, we've got compliments in the store already, many times already, like, oh, it looks a lot cleaner in here. Oh, wow, they had like a dead, they had like audio in there at one time. Guess that just quit working. They ripped it out. So I got that working in there. So people have something to browse to. A lot of people don't think of that stuff. They're just going, big deal. It's freaking music. I don't know about you, but when I go to a store, I like to hear some music, and I'm like, I see people walking in now, they're kind of like tapping their fingers and they're singing along with the songs, and it's like, it makes a difference. It's for the people. It's just to help them relax or whatever the case is. Nobody really wants to shop, so it makes it a little bit more enjoyable. You know what I mean? Smooth. Let me see. Leslie Hand, thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate you. What is that supposed to be, though? Looks like a dancing orange with a cape. That's pretty funny. That is cool. Well, thank you. I do appreciate you. That's awesome. Oh, let me see. Oh, flux capacitor and 72 money's in there, too. What's going on? Rico, what's going on? Good to see you on there. Mr. Viglione. Or Viglione, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I watched a vid about the Dodleston messages, the vertical plane. Real or hoax? I've heard of it. I'm not going to say yay or nay about it because I don't know enough about it, truthfully. That's something I'd have to look into. Something else I can write down. Now you guys give me all kinds of ideas to look at other different stuff. Let's see. All right. Let me see. Let me, again, just talking to the wife. So you have to, folks have to excuse me. I said, get me some more cough drops. I only had the 2. Just so you guys know what I was talking about. Messages. The vertical plane. Yeah, like I said, I'm being truthful. I don't know. So, but I'll look into it. Definitely. I can't say yay or nay because, like I said, I don't know enough about it. Alfie Joe Bob, thank you very much for your support. I do appreciate you, brother. That's awesome. That is awesome. All right. Yeah, I actually turned it off, John. Like I said, I was just talking to the wife there. I said, can you give me a couple more cough drops before I rip my own throat out? No, that's not true. Shoot it out, maybe. But not, let me see. John said, dinner's ready. Yours or mine? ZJ Adam, thanks, buddy. Excuse my Aussie sarcasm, Leslie. I caught it from Chris. Thanks. That's not true, Leslie. Oh. Experience deja vu? If so, then it's not a random effect. Maybe more multiverse effect. Yeah, I mean, you know how they've been talking about that for a long time, like a multiverse. And I get that every now and then. You get that deja vu, like I swear to God that just happened. And it's just, thank you. Relief. Oh, don't need them right away. But, yeah, it's just, you actually go, wow, why does it feel like this has happened before? And it seems like it's happening more and more. I can't say it's been recent, but every now and then you'll get that, like, boom, like, what's going on here? Again, Alfie, I appreciate you. Bush Corey's in there. When did he jump in there? Mr. Bush Corey. Pat Patterson, have you checked? You said, have you checked anything on Area 51 recently? There has been a new aircraft parked near a hangar on a taxiway. It looks strange. No, truthfully, I haven't, Matt. That's something I'll probably have to check out. That one there, I mean, I guess if you're going to use Google Earth, you could probably check it out a little bit better, provided it's still there, because you know how that could be. So yeah, something I'll have to check out. I have a client, wife. Can you smell it? Me neither. Start cooking. So start cooking. No, what you do is you go like this. Oh, honey, you gonna make supper? Yeah, soon. Is it done yet? Say what? Of course, you might catch a Or she might say, yes, honey, it'll be there soon. It depends. I'm a buddy of mine. He tries to get sarcastic with his wife. She'll jack him up every time. It's pretty funny. It's funny to see him go at it, too. Sean Taylor says, hey, Chris, sup, my friend? Just one question. Is Elon Musk a Martian? You know, it's funny people can say that. I'm just like, oh, my God, that's too funny. No, but the guy's brilliant. Now, I don't know if I do the Twitter thing, but I love his idea of saying, listen, let's stop censoring people what they're saying. Stop. You know, I mean, that's basically, I think it's just a pet toy to him, or just a pet to him, because it's, you know, I think Twitter, okay? But, you know, as opposed to the boring companies guys, got SpaceX, you know, Tesla, you know, the whole nine. So he's pretty much into everything. He's an entrepreneur. I mean, he's going to do this. But as far as Twitter, who cares? You know, I like Twitter. Don't get me wrong. I have an account there. But I don't, you know, I don't go on there a lot. I actually just, my videos get linked up there. So as soon as I put one up here, it automatically goes up on Twitter. But, you know, I'm glad he actually did that. If the simple reason was to actually buy it, or for whatever reason, if he did actually buy it 100%, then, yeah, stop the damn censoring. Enough. And that happens to everything you're on. It's just absolutely insane. Let me see. I'll check that for you right now, Robert. You said you asked me about. Hope it doesn't mess up this other one, but let's just see what happens. No, that's not the one I wanted. That's the first one I did. I couldn't get rid of it for some reason. I don't know why. Let me go to. And I just started, and to be truthful, we did like a handful of these things, and that was pretty much it. But, you know, that doesn't mean more will come. I mean, I think there's like, what, 435 subscribers on this one. But let me do this. Let me grab the link. Okay, we're getting out of that. Okay, here's a link for the Antarctica page. Like I said, that's got Sarah's thesis in there and everything else. Really, really good. And I call it a read because basically that's what it is. It's just a scrolling book that I put together. She did all the work, all the stuff, and had other people help her out and everything else. So I don't take any credit for that. But as far as I took it from her site and just scrolled it because she said, I don't know if it's going to stay up. They're trying to knock the damn site down and everything else from it. I said, well, that's not a problem. I said, let me do this. Let me get the thing, painstakingly take this thing, each section, put it together as a scrolling book. I think one of them is like 3 hours, the other one's 4, meaning the very full thesis. It's like 3.5. I forget what it is. You'd have to look at it again. But it's, and then I put like a classical music behind it. So obviously you can just put off the volume or whatever and just scroll by. And keep in mind, you can always speed it up. You just go into the settings right underneath your video screen and actually speed it up. If you want to put it, if you're a faster reader, speed it up. You don't have to worry about it. Here it is now. Right now I'm going to drop it. You guys can check out the Antarctica page and sub to it if you want to. I mean, that doesn't mean we won't have anything ever come out from it again. It's just like, you know, because when I get back into it, I may be jumping to different things again. So the moon one, and I was honest with everybody. I said, you know, everybody's like, oh, you're not putting anything on the moon channel anymore? And I'm like, problem with it is every time I find something fantastic, there's only so many people sub to that page. I'd rather do it here on this. It gets a lot more views, and this way you can get it out. If you only have just a narrow bunch of people on there, it's not going anywhere. And the idea is to get it out to as many people as you can. So that's why a lot of times I've been dropping it here, you know. Bushcar, you're talking to Leslie Ann. Yeah, all good, Leslie Ann. Just balls deep at work. Sucks on a Friday night. Yeah, that does suck. No, what really sucks is that you got to go to work tomorrow. That's what I got to do. So this evening's not bad. I got to chill, but it was a long day. Chill a little bit, right back at it tomorrow. And this time it's going to be even earlier because that truck gets there early. So I'm going to have to get there early, find out what time it'll be there, and get it rocking. Goat Hot, what's going on? Good to see you in there. And Colin Barry, what's happening? The Art Wizard, what's happening? Says commencing a new canvas, snow scene going good so far. I've done a short on YouTube recently, working on a new podcast as well. That's awesome. That is awesome. Let me see something here. So do you have anything on the YouTube channel now? Let me see. There you be. All right, so you have just a one video right now. Okay. So are you planning on doing more? I mean, because we can send people to your way if that's what you're doing. Or if you got a link to a podcast or something like that, that'd be pretty interesting. If anybody who's like a lot into art and everything else, which is just cool stuff. Turkleroon, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Good to see you in there, brother. James Cragen, thank you very much again for your support. Man, you're just knocking it out the park tonight, aren't you? Said Chris, the Jesuit priest up on the Mount Graham have looked for a private meeting with the Pope to report its unworldly sightings from its telescope. You know, I'm not even surprised. That's why a lot of people, it was like a running joke at the time, it was like, why does the Vatican need a telescope? And of course we know what it's called. And I agree. But if you noticed, some of the priests from the Vatican are doing what? They say, well, it's not out of the question now. Before it was like, ooh, it's like, you know, you don't be thinking about something like that. That's just crazy. You know, it was like totally taboo to talk about it, especially from the Vatican. Now all of a sudden, oh, we're just going to get our own observatory and we're just going to start looking at the stars. What for? Now to them, it's definitely not out of the realm. It's even more plausible or a good possibility, right? Ah, Turklerin. I didn't see you jump in there. What's going on? Cartoon Mark, what's happening? He said, hey guys. What's going on? What's going on, Mark? Gene Borsier says, during the dinosaurs, apes, the oxygen levels were much higher to support the larger animals. Well, here's the thing. Because, and like he said, like Gene just said, you know, things were much more lush. It was more denser oxygen, the whole 9 yards. So that's why things grew, like everything was like the Amazon back then, right? And believe it or not, it wasn't just the apes. It was actually man walking with dinosaurs. Had cavemen and then some. If you look at Angkor Wat's over in Cambodia, they actually show like a stegosaurus etched in stone. It's like, so was that a handed down? Was that a handed down kind of etching, and then they decided to etch it in there, or did they walk alongside of them? And a lot of scientists and a lot of other scientists believe that that's a very good possibility. What's going on there, Edwin Williams? Good to see you in there. He says hello. Let me see. David Gossamer, what's happening? Good to see you in there. Good to see you in there. Justy, you said the Vatican said a long time ago, I'm sorry, a long time already, UFO real and have been here a long time, and alien life not contrary to their teaching, and the Vatican. Yeah, but see, if you would have checked it out back in the 70s and 80s, not so much. They were like, well, that's kind of foolishness, because people were trying to compare it. They were even asking the question then, is it possible that these aliens were gods? And of course, that's blasphemy. You can't be talking like that. So, as far as I'm concerned, they could very well be. I mean, again, we talked about this before. Again, if you were way back in the day, living in a straw hut, maybe you were civilized, but you're living in a straw hut, and you've seen something come out into the sky other than a bird, a bug, you're just going to be like, what is that? It lands, it comes out, the people look just like you, maybe differently dressed, but they were human beings. I would bow to them. They have the power of flight. They are my gods. It's as simple as that. They're more superior to me, so therefore, there you go. So this is what they wrestle with, and they didn't want to hear that. But now they're saying, well, God created all, so why not them? Okay, I guess you can look at it from both aspects, right? It's a very good possibility. Where to go? Oh, Turkler, you said, I'm fine here. Well, that's good to hear, man. It really is. Yep. Master Man, he said the Vatican calls their telescope Lucifer. Strange, isn't it? Kind of weird how they did that. Interesting. Oh, they just jumped over here. JD says, cheers, Chris. Love the work. Well, I appreciate it, Jay. JD, appreciate you. It wouldn't, well, I don't know if that would work, though, Matt. You said if NASA has any ideas to transform Mars, why can't they just try it on the moon first? They could. I don't know how well that would work, but what the hell? I mean, it still has an atmosphere. I think it has a lot more than they're saying, but it still has a slight atmosphere where moon almost has virtually none. So you got to start with something, right? You'll be able to hold in, the heat and stuff like that. If you're going to use thermal devices, and maybe you want to set off the volcanic activity on Mars, that's going to help a great deal. And the fact that it has a little bit of a, atmosphere to begin with, that would help. So moon, probably not as much. Yeah, I think you're right, Mars Lakes, and thank you very much again for your support. I do appreciate you. He said, all religions are cargo cults. Well, like we were talking about before, not long ago, we were talking about how, like was it the First World War, where they had, they went to this island, and it was just indigenous village there, indigenous people, and they saw them coming and going during the war. They didn't know what they were, never seen a plane, and never seen people in these weird get-ups and stuff, which we call fatigues and army get-up and stuff like that, right? Army uniforms. And so they seen these things and they go, wow, these people have a gift of flight. So when they left, pulled up stake and everything else. Now keep in mind, to keep them from attacking them, they would literally gift them with food and all kinds of other stuff to help them out. So just say, listen, we're friendly, we're not here to do anything to your island. So after they left, these people definitely, like you said, Mars Lake, you said they're cargo cults, and that's what they were. They were a cargo cult. They literally took bamboo, made like a little runway, and made what looked like a Cessna instead of a regular jet. But they had a winged airplane made out of, like bamboo and stuff. And they would literally sit by it, praying, hoping that these gods came back. This is a fact. So If you were to see this back in the day, would you not think they're gods? They come out of nowhere. They come down from the heavens, down to earth, like most of the religious books talk about. Our gods came from the heaven, or our God came from heaven, taught us arithmetic, like I said, agriculture, laws and this, that, and the other. I mean, that's basically what it is. And you nailed it right on the, I think you nailed it right on the head there, Mars Leaks. And again, thank you for your support, brother. I do appreciate you. So that's what I'm saying. People have to understand that. These, this kind of stuff happens all the time. You introduce them to something new, like you bring over a phone and you show like a video, they'd be like, oh my God, what is that? They'd be frightened at first, but then they'd want to see it. How is that person stuck in that phone? On this flat thing? What is that? They'd be totally blown away. Show them lighter. Oh my God, he can make fire out of nothing. And it's there. We have to rub sticks and everything else. This guy is superior. And of course, unless they take your technology and then they kill you off and eat you, but that's different. But there you go. John Smith says Enoch was taken by aliens. When you read the book of Enoch, it talks about basically it's basically being taken up into the heavens, and where he learned all of their names and everything that they was there to teach, whether it be agriculture and all that. Remember wheel in a wheel, within a wheel, and all that other good stuff. Okay, James, you were talking to Renee. Okay. Pete Ferrero says, transform Antarctica first, even if it's just a small area. Heck, the way it's going, won't have to. It's melting all the whole ice sheet. So at this point, within a couple, maybe 5-10 years, it'll probably all just bare land and start growing again anyway. John Shea, what's going on? It's good to see you in there. He said, I believe they altered our DNA to make a working race for the past. You're talking to Goat Hot. Yep. Oops. I think it jumped on me again. Renee V said Vatican and aliens and meetings between previous popes and ships full of Jesuits who traveled in Nibiru, a secret planet in our solar system. Yeah, I mean, well, I've heard talks about that as well. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But see, we've been lied to so much. And again, I always tell you guys, listen, don't go off the deep end and believe everything. But so you kind of like, it sounds a little far-fetched, but is it possible? Sure. So I'm always on the fence with that kind of stuff. You know that. Some things sound a little bit more believable because you go, that could happen. And some things, on the fence. But I never rule anything out, but I just don't accept everything either. Yeah. Yep. Nibiru, Planet X? Yes. Yeah, Mimi, I agree. So why not telling us about our true origins? It seems like they're trying to just suppress that. For what reason, I don't know. It's almost like they said, let's say they said, oh, you're all special because we're descendants of this race here, and if you do this to unlock your brain, you can be ultimately powerful. Well, they don't want you to do that. They just want you to be the little chimpanzee that goes to work every day, does his job, comes back home, eats, and then, watches a little TV and goes to sleep and repeats the next day. They don't want intelligently thinking people. They don't want that. Yeah, that's a no-no. Well, and that's a great question, Mimi. You said, why do the higher-ups hide the fact extraterrestrials gave us knowledge? That's a great question. Well, I think that's been leaked out, because obviously we already know that. But and even the Bible and all the other religious books pretty much the same thing. Our gods came down from the heavens, right? But there's a lot more that they're not telling us about way back then. And that's what's crazy. You know, if you, like I said, maybe the stories, excuse me, maybe the stories like from the Sumerian text, the Mayan text, Egyptians, so on and so forth, they may not be just little ancient sci-fi at all. I believe they're pretty much not 100% real, but have a lot to do with the truth. And I think that it is true. Kurt Bonner, she said, Nibiru is a mothership, not a planet. From what the way the texts talk about, they actually say it is a planet. Now, is it possible it's like a Dyson sphere or something like that? Sure. Why not? But if that was the case, you'd think they'd be able to control it and not be in an elliptical orbit of 3,600 years all the time, that they could be able to change orbit at any time they wanted to. So, I don't know. I'm not ruling it out. Definitely not. John Smith, he said, do you believe, your question was, do you believe about the men in black threatening people to stay quiet? The only way I can see that, you know, as far as people like us on YouTube, they go, listen, there's going to be a constant argument both ways, right? I don't care what it is, content, whether you're looking at the moon, we're looking at pictures of the moon, whatever it is, they're going to go, listen, there's going to be conflicting things constantly, so just let them be. They'll think they're quacks, right? So you're going to have people battling out back and forth anyway. They just go, you know what, shh, let them believe what they want to believe. It's not hurting us any. Now, if you literally worked for NASA, JPL, or if you were like Area 51 or Skunk Works and the secret programs and all kinds of stuff like that, yeah, absolutely. They're going to like, okay, you're going to disappear. You say this, and of course they usually have a gag order they got to sign when they start working there. And of course you break the order, they break your ass. You know, they basically, you might have a small car accident like off a cliff. Your family may die in a fiery crash. But that's what will happen. Because they just basically, most people are like, okay, I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize my family, so therefore I'm going to shut my pie hole and I'm going to just live out the rest of my life. Unless it's 40 to 50 years, I forget what it is, 40, 50 years after, you can basically let this knowledge out. But then they're going to go, you know, most people, again, they're going to look at the guy and go, yeah, whatever. You know, back then in the 60s they had that, whatever. So then, by then you could be laughed at, you know what I mean? Because you see the technology now, but if they were to tell you they had technology, anti-gravitics, and they were going back and forth to Mars back in the 50s, you'd go, whatever, dude. Think about it. But, in fact, they were messing around with anti-gravitics back in the 40s. So, if they got it really good, working perfect, in the 60s, they're going all over the friggin' universe by now. And they've done it over and over again. So, the way I look at it is, I don't put anything past anything. You know, I'm open to it, but you got to think of it kind of like analyze it, not just go, yeah, accept it. No. But a lot of people have been threatened. Even the Apollo, you know, astronauts, they had been told, listen, whatever you see there, it's like, you know, obviously it never leaves here, and that's just the end of it. So, which makes sense. Jessica Roberts, she said, I think the aliens will say they put us here, religion is slowing us down, follow them, they'll fix us, follow them not, zap. Well, yeah, yep. I think religion has slowed us down. Our governments have slowed us down. You know, obviously you need, you know, law and order, because people would just be absolute psychotic. But as far as religious, yeah. You know, it's like, you know, they want you to think you're, you know, born with sin and all this other stuff, and that's not true at all. At least that's my views, from what I've learned over the years. And Yeah, it's like, can you imagine where we'd be? There's no religion. Now, don't get me wrong. Religion's done a lot of good for people. A lot of people I know follow religion, and it's made them a better person. Of course, there's a lot of hypocrites out there where they're like, oh, yeah, I'll just flip people off in the middle of the road, and, I'll do this to this bad person, then I'll repent. No, that's not how it works. It just doesn't work that way. You're either generally a good person or you're a piece of shit. I mean, it's all there is to it. It's kind of like the yin and yang. You can have really good with a little bit of bad in it, and of course you can have bad when there's always a little good in it. Of course, it covers a lot more than that. But it's like it's like if you could eliminate it, or at least not be controlling the masses and putting fear into them and everything else, and the governments could work together. Imagine what we'd be today. Think about that. And they weren't like trying to keep it hush. They would just literally say, listen, we know what's out there. We've seen it. We're all teaming together to come up with our own spacecraft. We're already out in space in the friggin' 60s. We already checked out these constellations and this. Can you imagine where we'd be today? We'd be at least a second, what do they call it, like first or second level civilization. Oh my God. There'd be like nothing we couldn't conquer. But no, we're still stuck on stupid. This planet, it just needs an enema. It's crazy how just this planet is. And it's not the people that are really super bad, although there are bad people. It's the way they're being, like I said, you're just being repressed, put down. And we're just like stifled. We're just stagnant. We're not going anywhere. And it's sad. Now, is there new technologies coming out? Is there progress in a lot of the technology? Of course, absolutely. You and I wouldn't know about a whole lot of it unless you worked in the field or knew somebody who did. Other than that, it's the same old for most people. Like I said, go to work, come home, eat your dinner, watch some TV, hit the crib, and repeat the next day, unless, of course, it's your day off or the weekend. So, yeah. But people just got to be a little more. This is the reason why I like being this kind of stuff, because you're thinking outside the box. You're not the person going, hey, Jim, or let's say we're girls, because it'd be pretty bad if guys are talking this way. Hey, what do you think about the Kardashian show this week? People going, when they talk about this, I go, why would you watch this garbage? You couldn't pay me if you said, Chris, I'll give you $1 million to watch the Kardashians for a week. Keep your money. I'm good. I'm absolutely good. I'm just not interested. I don't need brain rot. I want to expand my brain, not choke it down. Yes, David Goswell, he said churches used to burn people alive to prevent the truth getting out. Well, exactly. And if you were saying anything other than what they want or their truth, oh no, you were either impaled, burned at the stake, whatever it is, but you were killed off. It's as simple as that. No, free thinking. Lone Villain Inc., what's going on? He said, hey, how's it going, Chris? Haven't watched in a while. Been busy building the new house and getting the new ranch in order. Stoked the Bull Space Talk, in 7-Up. Oh, there you go, brother. Yeah, good to see you now. Hope everything works out for you there in the new house. That's awesome. Get that thing done. That is awesome. Nothing better than like a new home, too, especially if you're building it yourself or just having it built. That's just awesome. Good to see you in there, though. That's awesome. What is that? Oh, okay, hold on. Let me go back here. All right, I'm just going underneath Lone Villains. Jessica, you said, and who would stand against them? Who could stand against the beast? Many will follow them. All this is in the Bible. Yeah. Well, that's why I'm... it's kind of like the old Rush song, Free Will. Listen to the song. He said, basically it's like these fairs, phantom fairs, and all this other stuff. Really good song. And it's like I've been following that for a long time. I dissected the Bible, I've dissected everything long ago, and this is the reason why I became more spiritual than religious. Why? Because although I always say this, I totally respect the Bible as far as anybody else who believes in it. I have nothing against that. This is the way I believe, though. I think the Bible is a great history book. I also believe it's a good rule book for people who were back then imbeciles. Because this is the way I look at it. And I know you'll agree. Who here has to be told, thou not shall kill? Thou shalt not covet your neighbor. Whatever. And, people don't realize it. There's like 360 actual commandments. But there's only the big, 10 that they want you to follow. So here's the thing. Nobody needs a book today, unless, of course, you're completely simple, to know right from wrong. If you had good parents, this is already instilled in you. You don't need a book to tell you that. Here's the other thing. If I woke up in the morning, I have a choice. I can be a piece of shit, go beat up people, rip off a bank, steal, maim. I can do all of that. Or I can just choose to be a good person through life, and whether you believe in God or not is immaterial. Let's say you don't, and you go to heaven. They'll say, well, you didn't actually pray to me, but the thing is, you've always led a good life. You've always been good to people, so here you go. Heaven it is. So it's by choice. It's the choices you make that makes your life. It's not, has nothing to do with the Bible. Shouldn't be, any book. It doesn't have to be the Bible. Any book should not be swaying you to do the right thing. You should already know this, And so I think in a lot of ways it kind of restricts people. And in other ways too, I don't believe that the Bible is a moral compass at all. There's a lot of bad in it. There is good, don't get me wrong. But like a lot of people would get offended, like perfect example, my aunt, she was what the hell was she? A born-again Christian, I think? And it's bizarre to have another family member or friend, doesn't matter who it is, who is of a different denomination or a different religion, and they would battle it out. It's what? It's just weird. I go, this is the reason why I don't get into this stuff. I really don't. Stoned rabbit. I like that. Nothing wrong with ripping off banks. They rip us off. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, yeah. John Smith, you question free will? Oh, yeah. You have the freedom. Well, basically, if you read the Black Book of the Dead from Egyptian, it's basically saying the same thing. That's why they say the Bible is a book of plagiarism, because it's basically going off of hold on, I'll think of it in a minute. It's directly pulled from the Egyptian writings and a lot of the other surrounding areas that was pulled from their religions and put there. Like I said before, when there was a pharaoh in Egypt, and he only reigned for like a short time, but he was the kind of person that said, listen, only believe in just me, one God. And of course, a lot of people were polytheistic, and they didn't want you to be that. Monotheistic is what they wanted you to be. So if you thought any other way, you were killed off. But he actually said, while I was alive, I did not kill. I did not covet thy neighbor. And this is long before the writings of the Bible. So, when you go back into these things, you go, where have I heard this before? It just takes a lot of reading to understand, because I'm only just touching on it. But there's so much more. Like the word amen, it's from Aman, from Egyptian times. That's where it's derived from. But again, you have to get into this. It takes years. I was just into this for so much, and just started reading into it. It's just crazy. Now again, I don't think anything's bad if you follow the Bible and it's made you a better person. There's nothing wrong with that. And I wouldn't judge people for that at all. But some people, like I said, I've seen so many people, like I said, that are hypocritical. They say, oh, I'm totally this, I'm totally religious on this religion, and yet they're some of the worst people I've ever met. You know, and then of course there's absolutely awesome people. So, yeah. James Gregan, thank you again for your support, brother. I do appreciate you, man. He said, Chris, hundreds of years the Crusades ordered by the controlling religious leaders was to destroy history. Great library of, yeah, there you go, of Alexandria, including in more. Included in more. If you look at a lot of these statues and stuff like that, they were actually, defaced because they didn't want any other religion but a certain religion. So believe, believe, believe. It's like, wait a minute, I want free will. I want to believe what I want to believe. I choose to be a good person. That's all there is to it. I choose to help other people. I don't need anybody to tell me to do this. I don't need a book to tell me to do this. I need, I choose what I choose, and that's all there is to it. So, but some people say, no, I follow the Bible religiously, of course, and God bless them. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think the people who are just using it as a front, that's where I have an issue with it. You know what I mean? Exactly, too, Mimi. That's another reason, too. He said, I don't care if you are 100% what the Bible says, as long as, as you don't try to missionize people by force. Yeah, I mean, live and let live. It's as simple as that. I think there's 128,000 denominations of Christianity. Which one's real? And like the old question goes, well, if you were born in Greece, you'd believe in Zeus. And if it was on the other country, you'd believe in that God. So which one is the right one? Which one are you believing in? Which one is the correct one? Everybody believes it's theirs. But is it? What happens if you're believing in the wrong one? It's an argument, but it's not. I mean, if you just opened up about it and you go, well, okay, well, you should still believe what you want to believe, and that's it. But live and let live, Stone Rabbi said the Bible's been rewritten too many times to suit which king's in power. Well, that's true. That's true. But what was it from? I'm trying to remember where it was, what country. They actually had the real Bible. And what was really wild about it, and again, I wasn't there, so I don't know whether this is true or not, but they said that, Jesus wasn't divine in any way, shape, or form. He was a farmer or a carpenter. He had a wife, and, he was just a normal person, So, when you hear that, you go, and this Bible's huge. It's like, and I forget what it is. It's so old, it's unreal. But these are the kind of books that will be hidden, so the other books can be written. This is the way it was. Really? Yeah. Rashman says, comes off the walls of Egypt. Yeah, pretty much. John Smith says, do unto others as you would done to you. Exactly. Yep. Amy said, I'm sorry to hear that, by the way. He said, I was forced to live with an uneducated, deeply religious Muslim, and it was hell. And it's not just them. It could be anybody, right? Every time my aunt and I would get together, great woman, here's what's funny. You could be having a great conversation, and she'd always work religion in. Let me get this thing, coat my throat here. So what she'd do is she'd start off, how's your job going? How's life? Oh, have you thought about afterlife? I'm going, oh, here we go. Here it comes. Here it comes. And I'd say, can we please not talk about this? Oh, why, honey? Why? So she backed me in a corner one day, and I just asked her. I just got tired of hearing it. I said, well, let me ask you a question. I put it in kind of a sarcastic, kind of funny way. I said, so let me get this right. So before any planet was ever done, meaning made or any of that, Of course, she didn't believe in the Big Bang because that's not how, according to the Bible, it went. But I said, so here's God out there in space, just chilling. I've been out here since eternity, but you know what? I think I'm going to make some planets. Poof, and there they were. So, and she goes, well, you'd have to read the Bible. Okay. So then I ask about why there's so much war and, stillborns, so on and so forth. And she well, honey, you'd have to read the Bible. I went, wait a minute. You're supposed to be all knowledgeable about this, and you're trying to stuff it down my throat. Answer the questions. She wouldn't do it. She just stopped asking me about it after that. That's maybe where it's for the one I'm thinking about, Rashamir. He said Ethiopia has the real Bible with all the forbidden chapters. Yep. A lot of them were taken out of the real book. Yep. Leslie Ann, you said the Dead Sea Scrolls are amazing, Chris. They may be, but they weren't the real writings. In other words, they were derived or at least plagiarized from other ancient civilizations. Like the Sumerians. The Sumerians were around that area. Think about it. Trying to remember. Of course, well, Egyptian, but that's not what I'm trying to think about. Because if you think about it, before the Israelites, where did they come from? They came from Canaan. So they were Canaanites. Okay? So if you look at these areas where you got Sumeria, ancient Sumer, and of course you got Egypt, look at their writings. They were long before the Bible or the scrolls, and they're derived from both of their writings. They're literally a collection of their writings. That's pretty much it. This is the reason why they say, well, the Bible's plagiarism. I'm going, I look at it this way. There's a lot of good things in any of these books. I don't care what book you read. And like I said, I totally respect it. Again, if it's made you a better person, I think it's awesome. Because it does. I've seen people that are like, I found God and I believe in him and, stuff like that. And they have truly became a better person. Maybe they were a thug back in the day. They're completely straight and narrow. Good people. Never seen them do another thing wrong. So I think that's awesome. But then there's a lot of people out there, like I said, that are just totally hypocritical. And, they say, well, I'm totally Christian. But yet, well, you didn't know about this. But the guy that just said he's completely Christian, he beats his wife at least twice a day. Oh, that's nice to hear. So, yeah. I mean, that I could do without people like that. I really could. Mimi reaction said, put fear in their hearts and they will never stray from the path. Yep. This thing just jumped on me again. Crap. Yeah, it does make you wonder, doesn't it, Cloud 33 Studios? You said, why does the Vatican have to have a giant statue of some kind of alien weapons spaceship in the courtyard? A few more have been placed in the Pentagon, at MIT, and Smithsonian, I think. I'm not sure about those areas, but I know I heard about the Vatican one. I'm like, is that just weird? I mean, it's like I said, back in the 70s, you talked about any of this stuff, it was totally taboo. Now, did they have a priest there, or maybe even popes back in the day that thought it's a good possibility that there's other life out there? Sure. Did they talk about it freely? Probably not. So what you said about the Sumerians, where was that at? Lone Villain Inc. Sumerian is the first written language. Pretty much, it is. Cuneiform text. Cuneiform, depending how you want to pronounce it. Lone Villain says, and I think I have more faith in the first writings of Earth than than a book that's been rewritten 100 times. Yeah. This is funny. I asked my stepdad this one time, and this is when I was like doing all this research. I said, "What do you think about the Bible?" He sat there and he says, "What's there to think about?" I went, "No, I'm just curious. What do you think about it?" He says, "It was written by a man. Tells you everything right there." I said, "Okay, short and sweet, I guess." Jessica, you said, "What worth would the world have if it was controlled, unable to choose? It would be like robots." Well, yeah. Well, Enrico, great question. Viglione, you said, what happens if ETs have a religion? Would they also be like we are, almost like a cargo cult? Maybe they had somebody who came to their planet thousands or millions of years ago when they didn't have the technology and these other civilizations did. Maybe. It had to have started from somewhere. So maybe they're in the same boat as us, only much more high tech and many, many years, millions of years in the future, but maybe the same thing happened to them. Maybe it's a never-ending thing that life has been in our universe for, who knows, on gazillion years. How do we know? Maybe the universe just always was. Think about it. And we just can't wrap our minds around it. We're just like, what? I don't get it. Max Gay said, "Chris, I think Elon Musk is hell-bent on getting us there. And I don't think he's kidding here. He's going to get a base if it kills him." Well, like I said, he said he wants to die on Mars. It's as simple as that. You can't blame him. It's a new frontier. It's something that'll be his legacy. And I think it'd be cool anyway. Listen, a lot of people say, and I totally agree with everybody who says this, why don't we work on Earth before we get to go anywhere else? Well, there won't be another where else if we get killed by a planet killer, like a giant meteor or something like that, and it just completely kills the population. There is no more human. It's done. Unless, of course, there's other planets, which there could very well be, right? But there is no more. It's done. So, yeah. Colin Barry, you said, maybe Jesus is an extraterrestrial, so when he died on the cross, God could have had the power to resurrect because he comes from another dimension. That is why we can't see him. That's a possibility. Why not? I mean, you can still entertain even if you don't believe it or not. Yeah, I mean, I don't think of just one God. I think of plural. And what I mean by that is we were not only designed, or at least DNA changed, but let's put that aside for a moment. If there was any God, if you think about it, even the Bible says there's other gods. You will not believe in any other God before me. Think about it. So it acknowledges there's other gods. So even if you were to push that aside, like I said, if they came down from the heavens, and there's more than one, because apparently every religion has one, then there are multiple gods. There are people very similar to us that come down here. Maybe put us down here. Maybe we're a giant ant farm. Who knows? But to me, I believe that, like I said this a million times, we're part of something much larger, and people need to get their mind open to that. You know, when you look out, it's not just, you should feel real big, not small, because you're part of everything out there. And I don't think on a small scale, like, you know, people, like, they're looking into the sky. I look at it, the universe, like, yeah, The universe, not the sky. There's so much more out there we're a part of, and we are actually star stuff. So once you pass on, you are back out your star stuff. Exactly, Steve Garnham. He said a civilization won't survive if it can't leave its own home. I totally agree with you. It has to at some point. It has to spread out or it's screwed in a nutshell, right? All right, let's just get into this real quick. Pictures from space are image of the day. And of course, we're talking about the James Webb, right? And it says right here, and image credit, of course, is NASA, but Friday, April 29, 2022, of course, we're talking about today, NASA has released a batch of images acquired by the James Webb Space Telescope, which is in its final stages of this post-launch commissioning phase. The images show that the telescope's instruments are aligned and nearly ready to start delivering the groundbreaking science the telescope was built for. Teresa Poltrarova. So, yeah, that's awesome. It's going to make the Hubble look like a piece of trash. So we'll see what happens when that thing is 100%, everything's done right. That'll be cool. Look at this crap. Talking about a mystery hut. That's what I find funny about this. I just happened to see this. What I think is amusing about this is that, let me get this thing out here. What I think is amusing, and then it's like, remember that they showed it again? Oh, it was just a weird shaped rock. Remember that? It even looked like a rabbit or something. Remember, like Jade Rabbit? Hold on, let me get rid of that. I thought that was funny. I thought that was amusing. Throat's playing havoc with me tonight. It'll be all right. But I remember it was like a little hut. Then all of a sudden, oh, it's just a rock. It's like, oh, stop it. How do you go from that to that? You know, they'll make the excuse, well, we weren't close enough to it. You're not going to tell me the camera cannot zoom in that well that they didn't have a clue what that was. Exactly, Mimi. I'm just saying the same thing. He said, it's fascinating. They spend too much on the robot, but the cameras are shit. Oh, yeah. John Smith, your question was, remote viewers worked for the military, so there has to be something to it. That's true. Remote viewers, yeah, I mean, I've never met anybody who is one, so I can basically tell you I'm one of those and go, yeah, I was on the moon. I was right next to Chrysium, Mayor Chrysium, and oh, the structure's there. 90 feet high. I mean, I could go on and on and on, and you wouldn't know whether I was telling the truth or not. Of course, I'd have to be real serious and everything else, but the thing is, it's like, I'm not saying that's not real, because I heard that it's very much real. So, I got something on my finger here, and I can't get it out. So, I think it's interesting, and I think they see a lot of things. Kind of like that remote viewing they did on Mars, right? It was pretty crazy. Now, they're talking about a civilization, and I think they see me, and they were talking to him, and they said, yeah, excuse me, we sent out like a team. I don't know if it was out in space or whatever it was, but to find help because our planet is dying. And I don't know if that's the same one, the remote viewing, where he said he said they were telling him that they pretty much did it to their own planet. Kind of like that other one that supposedly said he got, where they're saying, help us, help us. The transmission was saying, help us. We did it to ourselves. We're warring and our planet's about dead. Well, it's kind of like what they said here about Mars. Pretty much the same thing. I'm going, what if it's the same darn transmission? Think about that a minute. Here's the other thing I want to show you guys too. It says all 5 key ingredients of, get this, all 5 ingredients of our DNA have been found in meteorites that came from outer space. So, I'm just going to rip my throat out. So, you have, I think it's an RNA in our DNA, if I'm not mistaken. Where did it say that here? Yeah, right here. Over the previous centuries, space rocks that crashed on our planet, Earth, included the 5 basic components of DNA and RNA. Scientists reported in Nature Communications in April 26. So I said, well, looks like the theory of panspermia is starting to be a little bit more plausible. Imagine that. So, yeah. Said it before. Yeah, 100%. We could be actually from Mars. Some of the scientists have already said that. Of course, they get kind of laughed at from their peers. But it's like, you can laugh all you like, dumbass. It's like, if you're more synced to Mars, then they're going, well, is it a possibility panspermia, somehow life made over here, or they somehow got here from there? This would explain it. Think about it. It would absolutely explain it. Yep. Well, the same human DNA, parts of the human DNA, Mimi. Yep. Josh D taking off? I guess he is. Well, it was an interesting evening with you all after midnight. About time for me to go to bed. Thank you all. Talking about me too. Thank you, and until next time, my friends, love you all. All right, Josh D, appreciate you being here. Always good to have you here. Great support of the channel. I do appreciate you. Give yourself a good weekend. Be safe there, right? Robert Morgan, you said, Chris, if they're watching you, Chris. That's fine. I love it. But we've been hinting towards this all this time. And if 5 components of DNA and RNA, picture this now. They're on these, rocks, space rocks, flying and hurling through space. So you're telling me that's all, it's crashed on this planet Earth, that's all there is in life. But yet these rocks are going everywhere in every direction, crashing into other planets. You're telling me there's no life on any other planets. Maybe they started off differently. Or maybe they start off the same. Their building blocks are a little bit different. Maybe their atmosphere is a little bit different, so they're going to grow a little differently. But there's still other beings out there. Almost promise you that there are. Rashomani said they have cameras that can see the hairs on a mosquito. Oh, yeah. Trust me, these guys are not stupid. Like I said, when they go to the different planets and the moon and everything else, best technology you can put together. And Tupac and Jam says, anytime they find something, cameras blur out always. We could never find a clear photo. Pretty much. Yep. That's Leanne. You said, why does it have to be a military they trained? You don't train, mate, what is free. Scientists only accept their word for it, Chris. Well, yeah. Like I said, I look at it this way. You know, scientists are brilliant people. They do the obviously they do their research. That's what they do. So when they're looking at these rocks and they're saying, okay, 5 components. You know, basically, you know, one of them's carbon. We're all carbon-based life forms. So it's an every life form on this planet. And it's scattered throughout the universe. So if you've got 5 components, doesn't have to be life just like us or our animals. It could be something different. But there's still life. If these things are flying and hurling through space, think about that. It only makes sense that there's life in other places. It's as simple as that. Let me get rid of this here. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Lone Villain, he said, only an insane, uneducated individual would think life is devoid in the universe other than us. It's comical at best. Well, yeah, I totally agree. And like I said, there's no way that that's it. We're just it. I don't buy it. I'm not going to buy it. Not the things I've been seeing that they've been hiding in these moon and Martian photos. Just that alone. Forget about it, you know. There you go, Robert. Robert Morgan says, yeah, the best technology that you cannot buy. Yeah, because a lot of these are made purposely from like Caltech. They built all the cameras for these, I think it was from the MRO and probably all the other orbiters, the landers, and mostly all of these the rovers. They're all made specifically. High tech, super, you know, they can, you know, go in any temperature, cold or hot, work and function properly. I mean, the whole 9 yards. They're made and designed specifically for the atmosphere or whatever is on a certain planet or the moon. They're not dumb. Sean Taylor, he said, Chris, the moon was the first civilization before coming to Earth after the dinosaurs. Well, if you mean that they talked about before where they had, where they said that they were, well, basically that was the Noah's Ark. Remember that story? They were talking how, again, the life was brought here along with the moon. It's basically we were on the moon and we were brought here and then we were actually just jumped over to, you know, Earth. So that's one theory, right? I don't know. You know, we could have came from Mars and migrated here. Like I said, at one point we had 2 planets thriving, and then they found out, you know, things were happening and stuff like that. Maybe we weren't that advanced on Earth yet because we were on Mars. Came here, we had a few technologies, but nothing special. And then, of course, you know, whatever happened there, and then we only have what we have here, and it only lasted so long, we had to start from scratch again. So it's not like you can bring a whole city here, unless, of course, you got like the city of Atlantis, like on, oh, what the heck is the name of it? I just had it too. Oh, God. Stargate in Atlantis. Unless you had that where the city would actually come out of the ocean and fly. I guess you could do that. But other than that, yeah, you would just lose your technology. If, at some point it would just die off. Like, let's say it's something as a transportation device or something like that. Eventually it'd be unpowered. There's nothing. It's kind of like go to a new planet. Let's say you have the best technology you could buy or have here on Earth right now. Go to a planet that has nothing on it and you want to start life there. How would you go about doing that? There is no way to do it. The only way you can do it is go there with starship after starship after starship, bring people, bring structures, whether it's prefabbed, whatever it may be, bring it there, build it, there you go. You can't just go there, just a group of people in one spacecraft and hope you're going to just build a civilization after that. Maybe through mankind, you know, like I said, you're making children, sure. But as far as technology and everything, you're going to be sitting there building little straw huts and stuff again. There's no way, unless you're from another planet that's already high-tech now, and you're going to bring all this stuff over there. Just keep building, 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 till it becomes something of a civilization. Other than that, it's senseless. Or it just wouldn't work, period. Yeah, I thought this was interesting too. And this is an old write-up too. I think, how long ago was that? NASA just announced that Jupiter's moon Io has started to send the Juno probe messages. It's sending it. So it's like, what are you talking about? So, let me see. NASA just announced that Jupiter's moon Io has started to send the Juno probe messages. Today let me see if it does it here. Well, that's on YouTube, so you can't really play the audio to it. Today we took a look at the Jupiter's moon Io and has suddenly started sending messages to the Juno probe. Scientists are making exciting discoveries at an astonishing rate, and it can only be nearly impossible to keep up with all the news. Let's see. Jupiter holds the largest and most powerful magnetic field out of all the planets in our solar system. The field is about 20,000 times stronger than Earth's, partially due to the solar wind that batters Jupiter with the electronically charged particles that blown from the sun. Jupiter's magnetic field extends so far that several of the moon's orbits are within it. Learn more about it in the video below. Of course, I'm talking about James Webb here. Let me see something here. That's like 9 minutes long, though.
Scientists are making exciting discoveries at an astonishing rate.
I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, you're just hearing weird things like Enceladus. They don't look like geysers. When you look at that, it's not geysers. They're literally super bright lights. And it just doesn't make sense when you look at it. Because they say, well, it's geysers and the sun shining off these icy particles. So therefore you say, wait a minute. There's a picture, kind of like we're showing Jupiter here, but picture this Enceladus. The sun was way up here on the top right. And the southern pole, or the southern part of that moon, was giving off light. Wait a minute. The sun's not even shining on these icy particles. How is it that lit up? To me, you could only come up with like just super bright lights or something. That's all you could come up with. Now, if it was just under it, well, it kind of makes common sense, right? Terry Kelling, what's happening? Appreciate your support. Why is that banging here? Oh. Let me see. Oh, we just got to mute that for now. Well, hell, I don't have to worry about that now. All right. Anyway, like I was saying, Terry, appreciate your support. I do appreciate that. He said, Chris, what are your thoughts on life after death? Do you believe that we carry on in some way, or when we die, that's the end of it? This is an argument for both sides, okay? I personally believe that, they'll tell you that we're all electric. We're electrons. We're electric. So you say, okay, that makes sense, because that's what it is, all electrical impulses. I don't know why she's trying to talk here. Alexa's trying to talk. Like I'm saying certain words as she's coming on. Anyway, so my thing is this. If you're all electrical impulses, then you're pretty much going to be back out into the universe. That's pretty much how you're going to be. Now, what happens after that? I don't know. Some people say, no, once your brain is dead, you're completely done. I don't I believe there's more to it than that. I believe there's much more. As far as, I'm not a big fan of hauntings, although people say that happens. I was in a buddy of mine's house that was, I have to admit, it was just kind of creepy and weird, where he said he has a person that haunts that house because it was his house. I might have told you this a while back, guys, but during the Prohibition up in Rhode Island, they had, his house was in a totally different area, and they moved it from this big park where we used to hang out at. Well, we'd be sitting there, he goes, I'm not lying to you. He said, I swear to God, we'll be sitting there having dinner. He's sitting there with his family having dinner. Stuff will come flying from the second floor, come flying down the stairs, and it hits a wall, because the stairs come down, and then there's a land, and then it turns to the right. And he said, stuff would come bang, bash into the wall, and come right down to the bottom stairs. I went, really? I said, well, I got to see that. So day after day, I'd go there and witness nothing. Now, he told me one time, he said, I want you to see this. We went into his other room, it's like a utility room type thing, right? He says, you know, obviously, remember back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, you had paneling. Really nasty shit now, but back then it was probably the cool thing. But anyway, he says, when my dad bought this house, and then, well, I should say built it, but when he built it, he said all of the paneling was normal. You know, of course, you're going to have your regular, what looks like the little knots and everything else, but he said, and I don't remember what he called this thing. He said, but look at this. He says, look at this wall right here. He moves this, I don't know if it's like a bookshelf or something. He moves it aside. He says, look at this face right here. And it looked like this weird teardrop, like fiery hair kind of like person burnt into this. I said, that is weird. Don't get me wrong, because nobody's going to buy paneling and put that on the wall. So I said, truth, I don't know what to make of that. And I forget what he gave it a name. It was kind of a funny name too. But I believe there's more to it than what we are. And after our body completely dies, then I don't know if I want to call it a spirit or just your electrical energy goes out into space where it's with all the other energy. So is it possible that's what they claim is like the spirit? And of course, it intertwines with other spirits and everything else. And this reason why people say, you know, they've seen their loved ones or whatever. Of course, there's an argument for that too, but we'll get into that. But I strongly believe, I think that's what it is. I think it's your electrical energy goes out back into space or goes out into out everywhere. And maybe it's just, it knows other electrical entities kind of thing. And this is how we see our parents, our loved ones, or whatever it may be. Do I know that for a fact? Absolutely not. I don't think anybody knows that for a fact. But, you know, I hear a lot of people talking about, ooh, hauntings and everything. You know, I've been in buildings where people go, no, you don't understand, man. If you've been in this building, it would totally creep you out. There's no way you'd want to live there or be in this building overnight. Why not? Let's go for it. I'd go in there. Of course, you'd hear pipes creaking and banging. Okay. That's expanding and cooling. Okay, next. And then you hear like what sounds like a door closing. That could be a vent contracting. Boom, 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 boom. You can hear things. And there's so many things that could be. And then there's a logical explanation for it. So, yeah. Miss Heard, where you been? Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Everybody's been missing you. Everybody's like, where's she been at? We haven't seen her. Hope you're doing well. Bear Dog, what's going on? He said, hi from Holland. What is going on? Good to see you in there. Let me see. Well, they love to hit you with all kinds of these little ads on this thing, don't they? Tim Houston, what's going on? Good morning, fellow seekers. What's happening, Tim? Good to see you in there. Sky Blue's in there. What's going on, Sky Blue? He said the speed of light, time, is what separates us other solar systems. We're a long way from even communication technology. Well, I think it's just we just don't know what to look for, or we haven't quite built the technology like you're saying, right? So I agree. Mark Stevenson says, hello, we'll be back soon, hopefully. Where's this other one here? Hold on. Thing jumped on me, so I'm trying to go back so I don't miss anybody's. Colin Berry said the Annunaki, when first came to Earth, they referred to after counting the planets the seventh planet, which is true. Because like you said, you were saying, and I think it didn't finish the whole sentence, but yeah, they counted from the outside, 10th planet being planet X, as we call it. But, from there in is 7 planets. You're right. Yep. Oh, okay. Misheard. Good to hear. So I've been babysitting full time. I'm good. Thank you, Chris. Well, yeah, we were all concerned about you. Wonder what would happen to you and everything else. And we're like, Jesus, I hope she's okay. Thought we'd have to all get together and whoop some ass if somebody's bothering you. Okay, Metalhead, what's going on? Good to see you there, man. And you said I had a near-death experience. Believe me, death is not final. I totally agree with you. I think, like I said, there's always different variances. You know that as well as I do, right? Like I said, I believe the electrical, what makes up our bodies is probably what they're calling the soul. And again, once you go back out, just everywhere, you like intertwine with everything and stuff like that. And you just like back, because again, what are you prior to that? So you're electrical energy from your parents or whatever, and now you're electrical, basically an entity. So, and you're in this avatar body until you completely pass on, and then you go back out into the universe. And this is the reason why our soul pretty much lives on. Turkler, you take it off. You said, see you later, guys. All right, Turkler, thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here, man. And have a good weekend there, right? Yeah, you're not the first one to say that, Leslie Ann. You said, Chris, I nearly died. Mom and Dad gave me CPR. I had an out-of-body experience, etc. You're not the first one that said that. I know other people have said that themselves. I found it really interesting. Now, some of the people, they'll say like when they're they're in the hospital and they're pretty much dead on the table, they said they've seen that big blinding light. And of course, a lot of times they said, well, it's the brain that sees the very last thing. So it's the last picture it sees. And of course, it's a blinding light. So that's what they're seeing. Here's a weird thing too. When our other cat, in fact, my other cat's ready to pass on too, by the way, folks, which sucks. But she's of age. She's like 16 to 17 years old. And yeah, she's not doing too well. But, we don't expect to live for another couple days. But on another note, my other cat prior to the one, because we had one, like I said, we got him in 2004, 2005, 2006. Do the math. So they all died in sequence. So first one, she died first. Second one, she died second. Well, when she passed, here's what's crazy. Having issues, she basically just, I guess her heart just stopped. Most cats, that's what happens, right? Or dogs. Any living animal. As long as it isn't something else. But what was weird is when she did pass, she started scratching the back of her ear, started doing things. I'm like, what is going on right now? It's something that they remember prior to dying, and this is what plays out the last millisecond or seconds of their passing. So this is what a lot of people see when they do pass. Now, that's not entirely true to everybody. So that's what I mean by it. Some people say, well, yeah, every time I was on, hear all these stories about people being on their deathbed, they're in the hospital, and all they see is a blinding light, or this light, oh, I've seen the light. And it's nothing more that contributed to seeing that, like their eyes open, they see this bright light, the operating lights, and then they die, and that's what they see. Now, some people, that's not entirely true. Some people have been, they're at home, and they pass on and somehow come back to life. Somebody's brought them back to life, or somehow came back to life. I don't know what the deal is, but, because you don't know the specifics. But they claim to see that. So I believe there is actually life after death. That's a fact. Now, I don't know. I've never been there. Haven't done that. But some people have. Oops. Yeah, maybe, yep. So she's just end of her life cycle, so to speak. Storm Rabbit. I died from a heart attack last week when I got my electric bill. Luckily, it fell in the meter and gave me a shock and brought me back to life. That's weird that you said that, even though you're joking around, but I remember hearing about a guy that was worked for the electric company. He was up on the pole and he had done that. He had somehow, I think he was reaching for, I don't know if he was trying to move one of the lines or put the fuse back in, or something he was doing. Anyway, he got electrocuted up on the pole. He literally got electrocuted, pretty much died right there. Fell off the pole, hit the ground, started his heart back up. That's just bizarre, but that's what happened. That is a true story. Miss Heard, you say, I know, Chris, sorry I made everyone worry, but I know you folks here will whoop some butt for me. Yeah, I mean, we just didn't know what was going on, so I'm just happy you're okay, you know. It's been a while since we've seen her. Like, what is going on? Hope she's doing well. Wild Mountain Bear, what's happening? What's happening too? Oh man, I am hella late. Yeah, just a little bit, but hey, you're here. That's all that matters. That is all that matters. Jessica Roberts says, too many people have seen things they couldn't have after death and come back. That's what's really puzzling too. So, yeah, I believe that. Tim Husey said, my late father drowned and had a NDE in '85. Yep. That's what I'm saying. It's just really weird. It's like some of the things that people come back with, it's just really cool. And some of it is bogus, right? You know, you see these people on the news, oh yeah, and then they'll call, here we go with the embellishment. Oh yeah, well, I talked to God and we sat down, had a cup of coffee, watching the TV, and he was telling me, you need to go back. And it's just really weird shit. And then the people who are like legit, right? Elaine, you said, sorry to hear that about the cat. Yeah, it sucks. It's well, we call her the Golden Girls because they were the three of them. And she's the last of them, so that's going to suck. But great cat, man. We can't ask for anything better than that. You know, she had 17 years of our lives, pretty close to it anyway, 16 and a half. So we go to argument because we don't want to see her go, common sense. But you also don't want to see her suffer either. Kind of like, okay, let's just, so it's either you have a choice, either have them A, put down, or B, just let them pass by themselves. Some people are just weird about that. It's half and half. Some people are, oh no, I just assume, as long as they're not in such pain, some animals are arthritic. I had a buddy of mine had a dog that couldn't move its hind legs, couldn't barely walk, couldn't make it to go to the bathroom, couldn't do anything. They had to put it down, so that sucks. I hate hearing that. Oh, that was an engineer, Jessica. You said, who was the guy that said, we now can take E.T. home? Oh, what was his name, guys? Maybe you guys will know it off the top of your head. Because I remember seeing that. And I don't know if it was the same guy, but he said, anything you can dream up, it's already been done. It's kind of like a Star Trek thing. I mean, they're saying the same thing. It's like, Star Trek, that's actually reality. Now, I don't know about the Star Trek meaning flying the way it does or something similar to it, but they said, yeah. That's like realistic. That's true, Lone Villain. You said, if science is fact, it says energy can never be destroyed, only transformed. That's right. Huh. Lone Villain. That's weird. I crashed a hydroplane boat and racing drowned for like a few minutes. Shrugs, I didn't see shit. I woke up on the beach with people everywhere. Yeah, that's weird. That's kind of scary too at the same time, right? Was it Inhabit Mars? Was it Ben Rich? Wish I'd been rich. Oh. Wish I had been. Oh yeah, when you go by the communicators, right? Metalhead, cell phones came from Star Trek. Oh yeah. Juxtabilly, what's happening? Good to see you in there. Thank you for your support. I do appreciate you, brother. It's a good vibrations, dude. No doubt. That's awesome. I do appreciate it. Good to see you in there, too. I was going to say, I haven't seen him in there either. Let's see. Damn. Where you at, Metalhead? You over in Cali, or? It says gas is a little below $6 a gallon. We thought it was extremely high. We were paying, I think it was 405. Some of them were like 415. But now we're like down to 389. That's not too awfully bad, but Jesus. Oh, you're driving an electric scooter. I'll let you borrow one if you need one. It only does about 15, 16 miles an hour, but it'll get you there. Yeah, exactly, James. You said, Chris, it's amazing that the subject of the afterlife is being talked about now, because I was telling people to check out the book called The Deception of Gods and Man earlier on Very Strange. Yeah, pretty much mind blown. And Habit Maj, you said, yeah, you said both of those things, yeah. Yep. I want to make sure I had the right guy here. I wasn't sure of his name, so I'm glad you guys had said it. Tim Husey said, we lost a pet cat this week, but fortunately it was very quick and she didn't suffer. Yeah, it's like mine is just starting to do that heavy breathing thing, and I'm like, ugh. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, then when they get to the point where it's hard for them to do anything, you know, then you're going, oh my God. So you kind of hope for like really quick passing instead of just like lingering on. Then you go, okay, I'm going to have to take her and have her put down, and that's even going to be worse. I've never had to do that. Most of them, they'll get sick for a few days, and I mean, they always start breathing heavy. It's usually longer than that, but they're usually functioning, doing everything right. But then, you know, keep in mind, she's had issues. She's blind. She's had something neurological happen with her, so her head's like always tilted all the time. But always still function the way she's always supposed to. But now she's having a little problem getting around, and I just try to, she was drinking water yesterday. Today, she won't drink it at all, so that's not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. John Smithy said, imagine if we could use 100% of our brain. Yeah, it would be scary. Yep. Yep, that is pretty scary. And just think of the knowledge and the power we'd have. And, of course, in a good way. And we would be like, you know, like a number one or number two civilization. That's what I thought, Metalhead. I knew you were in Cali. It's always been high here in California, which I knew that, but $6, that's a little high. I'm in Los Angeles. Okay, gotcha. John Smith, he said, teleportation, dismantled on a molecular level and reassembled. Are you a copy? Shh, don't tell anyone. Maybe actually says it's the body fighting its last fight. That's pretty much. Let me see. What did it say? Yeah, Leslie Ann, that is old. Jesus. Was 26 years old when she died. Amazing cat. Yeah, I guess. Like I said, we had a neighbor. Her cat was 21 or 23. It literally looked like death walking, okay? Smelled like it too. But it always come to you, want to be pet. I'd pet it. And, you know, she said, yeah, she's always been outside. And it's like just one day she come out and it was just, she had passed on the lawn, just died right there. I was like, ooh, good God. But it's like it's, you know, it's just really weird to see that type of thing where, you know, see cats live that long, you know. But you kind of wish that they'd live longer than that, or any animal, because I know a lot of people love dogs too. So, but anyone, you know. I did hear about that, Rajamir. You said, did you see the meteor shower? Recently, all the planets are lining up as we speak. The news talking about it now. Oh, yeah. Really? That's weird, Miss Harriet. It's absolutely crazy, Chris. I said you find out a chat donation, and my app says it was refunded back to me. That is weird. It's hard to tell what's going on. This is the reason why, like I said, I always leave the other, what do you call it, too, the link at the top, because people have said, I don't know if it was the same thing or they just said they couldn't get it to work for some weird thing. They said, oh, yeah, I tried to do the donation through here and through the chat, and somehow it wouldn't let me do it. And I've done it before. I'm going, that's a little odd. Now you're saying yours has been refunded? That is crazy. But like I said, that's why I always try to leave the PayPal app up there. So this way people have an option if they had to. Or if they want to do, whatever. But I do appreciate it anyway. That's cool. Mimi said, pets are like children. Absolutely, man. And, you know, I actually sat there and just kind of like talking to her. Not that she's going to go, yeah, I understand what you're saying, totally. But the thing is, just like, you just want to talk to them and stuff like that so they know that they're, you know, they're still in their obviously natural habitat, if you will, in their normal house. It's like every day we go to work, I always had the radio on. That's what I do. Not that she's going to like, oh, wow, it's my favorite tune. But they hear sound because she relates that when we get home, I usually put the radio on. Or like when I was staying home just making videos at the time, I would have it on for her. So she knew I was home. So now what I do now is because we're figuring it's the final days, we're keeping the radio on even on at night. So, because usually when we go to bed, we shut it off. Because there's no point in having everything on, right? Leslie Ann, you said, he passed in my arms, very spiritual experience. That is weird, though. But I mean, I know it's got to tear you to pieces, though. That sucks. Steve Garnham, you said the film Lucy is about a woman who can use 100% of her brain. I seen the trailer to that. I just never watched it. It looks like it's pretty darn good. John Smith, he said a pet helps with stress 100%. That's no lie. That is no lie. That's a good question, Pete. You said, wonder where all the energy of the Mars people went. I don't know. That's a really good question. And of course, we got Jeremy Corbell here on this here. I don't know if you guys have seen this. The U.S. Navy filmed a spherical shaped UFOs in advance of transmedium vehicles. Here are some of that footage filmed in the Combat Information Center on the USS Omaha, July 15, 2019. Warning area of San Diego at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. No wreckage found. No craft was recovered. Imagine that. Let's see.
Took off. Looking at
always found this interesting. Is this the one that
Omaha,
this might be just a
15
new
kid,
one.
Rockville Pro,
But the one that actually drops right into the ocean,
Hilo,
then it's pretty,
ASAP.
pretty weird. Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Metalhead. Jeremy, I call him Caldwell, is a fraud. And, you know, again, he's just one of these guys who just, oh yeah, I got all this knowledge, got all this knowledge, but I can't tell you. You know, just leads you along, just strings you along.
It's getting close.
I agree with you.
Yeah, we have 31 knots sustained wind, topside, gust of 40.
What was splashed? Splashed. Mark bearing and range.
Yeah, this is the one that just drops into the ocean here.
Topside, gust of 40.
What was
I mean,
splashed?
come on.
Splashed.
That looks so
Mark bearing
cheesy.
and range.
Like I said, not one of these guys can take an actual real video. It's always some piece of shit video, grainy as hell. It's just, it's bizarre. Yeah, I think he's just so full of crap. When you listen to him, he's just like, oh yeah, he wants to sound all knowledgeable. Well, I can't tell you about that guy, though, folks. It's like he just strings you along, and again, here we go with the embellishment, and here we go with the BS, just to string you along. He can be on shows. They'll pay him to put him on shows, and da-da-da-da-da. And this is the way he's making his living. It's exactly what he's doing. It's cameras from the new Avatar 2 film. LOL. Look at this. That's pretty funny. Yep. Oh, I appreciate it, Miss Heard. I keep wanting to say Miss Heard. It's just the way it's spelled. But Miss Heard, no, I appreciate it either way. I mean, don't knock yourself out if you can't get it done. I don't want to see you rip your hair out trying. But the thought is just awesome, and I do appreciate you. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Long Island, you said Jeremy Corbell is being strung along by the CIA. I know, but to do what, though? I mean, it's kind of like just saying, like, I'm full of information. However, I can't tell you this. Then what's the point? Why even do this? If, this is what I don't get, and I've said this before, if the Pentagon is going to let these out, what do they need a pawn like him for? They don't need a pawn. They really do. They really don't need a guy like this. They said, well, because he had some kind of military, you know, whatever, then, you know, we'll use him. I just don't believe it. I think he's full of shit. Now, is there any truth to some of it? I'm sure there is, but again, every time you see the video, this is what it looks like. It's green. It's grainy. It's infrared. It's night vision. It's piece of shit. You know, I could take better photos or videos with a bologna sandwich. It's just outrageously stupid. It's comical at this point. Show me a real video. Show me a daylight video. You can't tell me there's no such. I mean, people take videos of UFOs way off in the distance, right? So, don't get me wrong, they look lousy, but they're zoomed into the max. This is the reason why. Of course, they're trying to use stability and everything else, and it's not working. So, these things are just off the starboard bow, whatever the hell they are. And for some reason, they can't get a clear photo, and it's always this crappy night vision or infrared. It just doesn't make sense. Oh, John Shea, you've seen it? He said that's not a bad film at all, Lucy. Oh, maybe I'll check it out. I think it was, Tim. He said, is that the USS Nimitz? I believe that it was. No, it says right here the USS Omaha. So that's not the same one. The other one, I think that the other one's just going back and forth, wasn't it? Because this is the one that just goes back and forth a little bit and then just drops into the ocean. So yeah, this is the Omaha. Steve God, I like that. Of course, they sent £1 million, but it came straight back. Darn. Man. Wish I could have been sporting in a brand new Lambo. Oh, I mean, what? The thought's there, though, right? Yeah, Elizondo, he's another one. Told what to say by these. Alfred Joe Bob, you said that. I mean, it's almost like you guys said, it's like he's being strung along or they're being played like a puppet through the CIA, but it's like, why bother? He's literally, they're making these guys look like a bunch of dopes. Think about it. You know, it's like me saying, guys, I got a fantastic story for you, right? I even got a video of a UFO that I saw. I was literally on the mountain here yesterday. I just happened to be looking over the cities, real beautiful, and boom, I caught this spacecraft, you know, picture perfect. You can literally see the details in it, really good. You guys are going to enjoy this, but I can't just show it to you now. I'm just not sure when I can show it to you. How many times can I say that to you before you go, right here, shove it? Think about it. And that's what people are pissed off about. And then he's catching the backlash, and he doesn't like it. So I'm hoping it's the CIA playing games with him. But, you know, on the other side of the token, which difference does it make whether it's he's doing it, making it up, or CIA? He's still looking like a dope to everybody. And it's not a good thing. It's just not. Way to go. Metalhead, you said any of those fake UFO dudes are there for the cash. And that's exactly what it is. You know, I would just say, listen, just tell the story, be done with it, and then end it. You don't just say string people like a lot of Linda Moulton Howe, all of these people. They're all doing this. It's not just something, again, should tell you about the story she knew. Well, wait a minute, there's a follow-up. Well, wait a minute, there's a follow-up. I found out new news. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying she's all crap, and I'm not saying any of these people are all crap. I'm just saying that it just seems weird that after a few months during the year, got something new. A few months after the year, got something new. Because I got to stay relevant. And in fact, in the real world, that's true. It's kind of like here. Like if I'm making like serious bank on these videos, which I'm not, and if you stop making them, you drop. Okay? So you have to stay relevant. You have to keep putting this out in order to stabilize your revenue or to boost it by doing more. So they're the same way. If they don't, they go, oh, where's my revenue coming from now? Jesus, oh my God, this is all I know how to do. I got to come up with more bullshit. I mean, real stuff. So think about it. It makes perfect sense that these people are doing this. But people are not stupid either. They're not, you know, they know what's going on. Colin Barry said, I too am disabled, waiting on a wheelchair services, NHS, I'm sorry, for a new electric wheelchair so I can get out. And again, been stuck in my flat for too long. Now I know how Galileo felt when he was put in house arrest. Yeah, well, I hope everything works out for you. I hope you get it soon because, yeah, there's nothing worse than being stuck in a house. You can't do anything, right? So, yeah, I hope you get it soon. I hope everything works out for you, man. Really do. Well, that's true, Metalhead. You said infrared cameras can't, you know, by nature can't focus very well, which is true, which is kind of weird. That's all you see is that or night vision. When are we going to see an actual real video? Meaning daytime, crystal clear. You got to know that these cameras on board these ships and spacecraft are like the ultimate cameras, and yet this is all we get. It's complete crap. Well, let's keep the stream going till 12 a.m. What do you want me to pass on right here? I mean, I'm like hungry. I'm going, oh, I got to eat. Colin Barry said a pinhole camera could do better. You're right about that. But, I mean, Metalhead is correct. I mean, you know, anything infrared looks like shit anyway. It just does. But that's my whole point, though. It seems like that's all you get. It's that or night vision, which, again, is lousy. I've got a camera that does night vision, and it's not nearly as good as a regular vision camera, an RGB. So, you know, show us something real. Then people will take you serious. And now he's getting verbally beat up by the masses because they're like, oh, you're so full of it. Let's say he's not. He's still getting beat up by it because it's a bunch of trash. And then he strings people along. Oh, yeah, I got a video coming out for you guys. I can't quite show it to you yet, though. You're going to love this. 23 minutes. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, you can make up astronomical stories. Let's just suppose you're a sci-fi writer, but instead of writing a book, you're literally putting it verbally out, and you're saying, yeah, I know this Air Force pilot for years. And he was telling me that they went to Antarctica and that they found these fantastic things. He doesn't want to say his name because he'll get in big trouble, of course, from the the military. But he's telling me that there's UFOs under there, and I can sound really sincere about it. If you love this kind of thing, you're going to follow me along and love everything I'm telling you. Am I telling you the truth, though? You just don't know. Great question, Metalhead. Why would Lyndon Mulhall be privy to anything top secret? Stop. Well, that's my whole point. She'll claim, like I said, about UFOs, and I've been talking to military. That's how she's in the know. And then, she'll just, like I said, then she goes on to embellish. They said that they're little grays, and some of them are extremely 10 feet tall, and, they taught them technologies, and they're swapping information. This may actually be true. On the other side of the token, it could be complete BS. How do we know? So if you're you love everything to do with UFOs, you're going to eat the stuff up like candy, and you're going to follow her along and believe everything she's spewing out is correct. Now, I'm not saying she's lying about everything, but on the other side of the token, how much do you believe and how much do you do not believe? That's what it comes down to. Martin Lucas, you're still here, man. It doesn't matter. He said, oh, man, don't tell me I missed it. You're about almost ready to close it out, so in a sense, you caught the tail end of it. But you're still here, and I appreciate you being here, man. If you guys haven't hit the thumbs up, please do so. I would appreciate it. It helps get this video out, and it helps with the algorithms as far as YouTube. Excuse me. And I promise not to throw up on you guys. But yeah, I do appreciate it if you guys do. That'd be awesome. Get the numbers up as high as we can. And if you don't mind, you can actually put a comment under the end, like, hey, great hangout, this, that, and the other, and, after the show and everything else. It actually helps, too. Throwing comments down, it helps. Long Island, New York, said UFOs are not the same as ghost and Bigfoot. Yeah, it's another big thing going around about Bigfoot. I mean, we've always heard on and off things about Bigfoot. Is it possible they're real? Sure. I don't know if I'd be blowing it up like it's, oh my God, Bigfoot. Who cares? Now, it may be like a missing link thing. That's a possibility. Or it's just a simple creature that many people haven't seen too much, and it just happens to be out there. Okay, let it live. Leave the damn thing alone. I just don't understand it. I appreciate it, Leslie Ann. You said, have done, Chris, always. I do appreciate it. Lone Villain, you said, I live way, way, way out in the middle of nowhere, Colorado mountains, zero light pollution, which is awesome. That'd be a nice place for a telescope. For over 25 years. I have seen crazy shit in the sky. LOL, I know we are not alone. Oh, I guarantee it. I totally agree with you. I've seen some things in the sky and just go, what the hell? Les Kapak, what's going on? I don't know why this is, I probably do know why it was held, but it said Linda Howe, the self-trained investigator reporter, full of shite. Pretty much. Mini Warzone, I haven't seen you jump in there either. Good to see you in there. Said thumbs up for me. I appreciate it. I really do. But, yeah, Les, I knew exactly what you meant. I knew what you meant. Long Island. You see aliens, all you have to do is smoke some DMT. Man, I see it too, man. Look at that. Next to the Aztec temple. Pretty much, right? Zulu, great question. You said, have you ever tried to get your kids or wife into this? Do you ever feel like you need to pass this knowledge or work onto your kids? I've told them, I've showed them photos and stuff like that. And it's kind of like anybody you may know, right? It's kind of like they're interested, but they're not like you are. So, you know, they have their own thing, just like you have your own thing. Now, they do find it intriguing and very interesting, but to sit there and go, yeah, let's dissect all these photos, they're not going to do that. And my wife says it's interesting stuff, but it's just not her bag. She's just not into science and stuff like that. She never was in high school. Of course, you had to do the classes, but she never was a big fan of it, if you will. So, me, on the other hand, I was a nut job. I liked anything mathematics. I loved science, you know. And I used to, like, teach myself electronics and mess around with stuff and rebuild and make better and louder and better received, this, that, and the other. Oh, well, and then do this, do that. So, and of course you read books. My mom used to get me all these electronic books, electronic circuits, and those little kits. You could buy 301 kit. You could build all kinds of weird things on it. I'd put everything together in that. She'd get me another one. It was even bigger. I think it was like 100, 175, 300. And then the last one she got was like an actual computer you can build. And I built that. She says, Jesus, I don't know what the hell else to get you. So you used to have a lot of really good time putting these things together. And then you try different alternative things like, ooh, if I want to make this louder, can I change the resistor in it? You know, less resistance and, you know, check the different ohms and, you know. So you experiment with the things too. Really, really cool. But yeah, I mean, it's like my kids, you know, I tell them things like that. They'll say, what is that? And I'll explain it to them. Wow, it's interesting, you know. So they have it in their mind, they know it, but to sit there and follow it along, just not their bag, you know, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But then you find friends who are, and people like yourselves. This is the reason why I like it so much, because it's like-minded people. And we all get in there and we have a great time. So that's what I love about it. Leslie Ann, you said, Chris, they put up the same old story, seen old video, and don't forget much what these mainstream ufologists say is all the same as Linda, Chris. At least I've got different, as we all know. Yeah, exactly. You got different information compared to them. So yeah, I get it. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you know, it's kind of, this is what I don't get. Either they're just not thinking about this. But like I said, when I hear like this video here, when I'm seeing this video, I'm going, oh, the UFOs, I'm just not even nearly fazed by it. People go, why not? Don't you think that's like the wow kind of moment? No. First of all, it may be ours. Because I could put an actual manned probe, like a remote control probe or drone with bright lights on it, and what's it going to look like in that infrared? You know, and they can just invert it after that, and they can change it and do whatever they want to it, and oh, it's a UFO. I can do anything to that photo. Hold on a second, what is it? Yeah, somebody's just, Sky Blue is just saying the same thing. Drones can put on good displays of UFO activities. There you go. But, you know, so I'm not really a big fan. Why? Because I know there's much more on the moon and on Mars. And I told Billy Carson not long ago, and I was saying, you know, we got to get our own show because he wants to do an anomaly show. We need to get into this and start telling people, listen, you're looking at it from all the wrong way, man. This is a bunch of trash. Like UFOs, how about where these things are coming from? How about the things that we've been lied to about? Nobody's examining that. That's the problem. You know, you would think UFOs are simply minuscule compared to what we've seen, what's on the moon and what's on Mars. So why would anybody be like, oh, wow, big deal, you know? Do I like the idea of seeing that? Sure. But you know as well as I do, this could be anything on this recording. Zulu said, yeah, I totally understand you. Also, love you, man. Been here with you since 2017 through all the drama. Love the work you do, man. Well, I appreciate it, Zulu. I do. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about as far as the drama, yeah. Bunch of BS. But just under the bridge. Oh, there you go, Leslie. And you said, have no family, LOL, Chris, to show my information, etc., but my friends are interested. Well, there you go. Oh, yeah. Actually, man, you said, I wanted to be an astronomer, but kept arguing with my teachers about life in the universe. The brainwashing is real. Oh, that's a fact. Not entirely sure what that is, Terry. You said, Chris, do you believe in dogmen? I'm not really sure. Truthfully, I haven't really looked into the matter as much. You know. Well, what do you think? What do you think about it? You think that 100%? Just stories? Exactly, Zulu. You said, once we see the stuff on the moon, UFO sightings on Earth don't impress me as much. They just don't. Because I'm seeing a civilization as opposed to one craft that could be ours. I mean, right? How is it that we see these things come out? Now, how many times... Now, you can hear like little stories about UFOs. I've seen them too. But what about this Tic Tac and the other one is... Because we had one on the East Coast, we had one on the West Coast. How much have you guys seen of that lately? Why aren't we seeing a lot more of it? Yeah, Zulu, you run into that. He said, I told my family and friends they always tell me why aren't scientists and other amateur astronomers coming forth with the observations. They think I'm crazy. No, actually, here's the thing. Real astronomers are not going to get into that kind of conversation with other astronomers afraid of ridicule. And they're afraid of losing their jobs. If they were to see something on the moon or get something really clear on the moon, would they tell their peers? They might say, oh, dude, you're whatever. Or they may actually have a gag order. Like, listen, you're welcome to use it looking out into space and everything else, but you come out with anything that says anything about the moon and something you see on there, that's off limits. You can't do that. Well, why not? Because we told you not to. Oh, okay. And just be done with it. You know? So, absolutely. That's going to happen, 100%. Long Island. Tic Tacs are from Venus. Hard to tell, right? Metalhead, you said Bigfoot does exist. I think it is. I think it's a creature out there that is just not... It's either really good at hiding, or you just don't see as many in the world, so therefore it's a phenomenon. I look at it this way. Listen, it's a creature out there. Okay. How many other species are out there that we don't even know about, and we find... some new every day. And they do bring it to light. But they don't make it mysterious. They just say, look at what we found. And then when they see a picture, they say, yeah, there's some kind of Bigfoot thing. We call it Bigfoot because it's like a giant human. So this is what we call it. Okay, we're hoping to see it again, but we haven't. Okay, leave it at that. But no, everybody, again, I've seen a lot of these videos or interviews where they, again, the embellishment. You should see the side that it attacked my family, ate my kid. And I mean, just total bullshit. It's like, listen, I'm not saying that these things can't be violent because they're trying to protect themselves, common sense. But a lot of this is just complete BS. Are they real? I believe that they are. But the way they've come out, I mean, they're just, you know what it seems like to me? They're just friendly creatures that just want to be left alone. But yet you hear things about, oh yeah, it's tearing people apart and animals and all, Paranormal, you're having the same problem. He said, hi, Chris, been a while, but I come back to your channel and check out your good work. Been following you for years. And you said the same thing. I tried to do a super chat for you, but the payment system seems to be down. That's weird. Well, like I said, if you have PayPal, you can always try that too, if you can do that. Some people are set up to do it. Some people are not. But I do appreciate the trying, you know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's the thought that counts, I guess, you know. That's what I look at it. I got the link at the top of the page here because I know, like I said, I've told you guys before, I've had people actually text me through Mars Anomalies through Facebook. But, oh, you know, I don't want to actually do it here in the super chat for whatever reason. I respect that. And I said, well, this is the reason why I started. They said, would you have a PayPal? Well, I do. So now I just leave it up at the top so people can see it if they want to use that. Kurt Abanas, you said, why did NASA cut 2 minutes from the Apollo 11 live stream in 1969? Well, they supposedly went to the medical channel or the backup channel to discuss what they've been looking at. Of course, they claim that there was no other channel or no other medical channel, but yet they dropped off audio, and that was the end of it. And then 2 minutes later, they came back on. Now, a lot of people say, yeah, they absolutely did have that, and that they were telling them what they really found. Think about this a minute. I'm not going to tell you if I'm live on TV. Think about this a minute. Apollo 11. Oh, Capcom, you're not going to believe this. There's a structure out here, and there's spacecraft everywhere. I mean, they're not going to say that. They're going to say, if you see anything, they probably already alerted them. Look, you're going to see some incredible stuff up there. This is what we got pictures of from, you know, out of space or from a telescope from here from space. This is what you're going to see. We're sending you there. And then you can discuss it on the other channel if you find something you don't know what to do. In other words, you're in this situation, you see this, or if you want to discuss it, okay, they flip it over. They probably said, take all the information, give us briefly, tell us what's going on, and then we'll flip back over to the other frequency. And that's probably what they did. You know, and that's what a lot of people believe is what happened. Zulu, you said, do you remember that NASA image where below the person's arm in the moon crater was a cube? Yeah, I do remember that. My manager thought it was a million. I think so too. It was some structure, that's for sure. And I know exactly which one you're talking about. It's a good picture too. But yeah, I mean, it can't be, it's not a crater per se, and it's not just regular, just rocky, you know, lunar surface. It's not that at all. You can clearly see this thing looks like a square and a good-sized cube building, right? Tim Hughes said there's a possibility Bigfoot kidnaps people. Some Indian tribes have said they were taking their women folk. Yeah, I mean, you can hear stories like that as well, and I'm not sure I believe all that. Now, as far as, like you said, people have been kidnaps people, or is it just protecting itself? Maybe it's scared. It smells these people and it attacks them, and, you know, like you said, it kidnaps them. Is it doing that, or just attacking them because it's threatened, it feels threatened? I don't know. Because a lot of times it's more than one person up there, right? Like they're out camping or they're out like just hiking or whatever it may be, and it feels threatened somehow, and then there you go. I don't know. James Reagan said, Chris, if anyone wants to see the huge amount of lies that is being used globally and the amount of proof to back it up, well, just watch your videos. End of story. Let's be honest here. Tonight, man. Yeah, I mean, well, there's plenty enough to see. I mean, it's whether it's the moon stuff or the Mars, it's just there. You know, you can see. I point out how they're blurring certain spots of videos, or almost the whole. Well, not videos, but photos. Almost the whole photos with very little detail in it. I mean, they're purposely doing this. A camera doesn't do that. It's not going to go, well, we're going to just make this blurry and we'll make this super sharp and we'll just no. It just doesn't work that way. So you know they're manipulating and censoring these photos. It's right there in the photos. Thing just jumped on me again. Colin Barry said in the 70s, I saw a black diamond over the house, huge and convex underside. Reflected the street lights. Went back into it, got my torch, got back, showing it 3 times. It flashed back, then it lit up people inside. Wow, that is wild. If that happened, that must have been really freaky and cool at the same time. Bush Corey says, Gaz. Catch you later on, Chris, and all. Good night. Good long job on it, so take care. Got long job on, so take care, stay safe. Taters. All right, Bush Corey, thanks for being here, brother. Always appreciate you being here. Have yourself a good weekend there, right? And my voice is going, you're going to give up now and like it. So I'm going to be jumping off this bad boy. But anyway, yeah, we'll definitely be doing these like every week, regardless of whatever else we do. And like I said, I want to let you guys know what's going on. So we'll go from there. I'm going to let you know my schedule, keep you guys abreast of what's going on like I told you guys, and I did today. Hoping to get it all worked out so I can go, okay, get 2 days here, and then we'll start at Fridays, or we can just like a video one day, do the video on a Friday, and then still have the Hangout. So either way, I'd like to get some of these out. But as always, folks, thanks for the great support. You guys are awesome. I love you all. That's from my heart. I think that's great that you guys just hang out here, and it's just cool that we all get together and be able to do that. Let me see. Let me see for you, Steve. The Discord link again, please. I'm also going to give you that video I was telling you about from Discord, so you guys can check it out. Let me see. You probably have to sign up in it once you get to it, but to become a member of the channel, obviously. But let me do this. Okay, let's try that. All right, here's a link for Discord, my Discord channel right here. Just dropped it. But yeah, so like I said, folks, I'm going to let everybody go. Like I said, great to have you all aboard. I love the fact that, like I said, I've said this a million times, that we just have this awesome conversations. It's like-minded people sharing ideas, throwing ideas, telling them what they found, their experiences. It's awesome. Nothing but respect for you guys, because a lot of people won't come forward with a lot of these stories because they're afraid of being ridiculed, when in fact they can be every bit of 100% real, and people, again, that are they just kind of whatever, you know, because they've never experienced it, so they automatically think, bogus. The reason why we can all get along, even if you're talking about near-death experience, it's still part of science in a sense, right, and spiritual. So if you're into science and you have an open mind and a critical thinking mind, then none of this stuff we talked about today is out of the realm of possibilities. None of it. It absolutely is. James, again, thank you very much for your support, as always, brother. He said, Chris, sorry now, man. I am not being smart or patronizing in any way. Your videos and Hangouts are and the rest is enough. They never stop going up. Oh, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. You know that as well as I do. But yeah, well, again, thank you for your support and everybody's support in here. Like I said, whether you tried, it is a thought. I appreciate it. I really do. And anybody who's helping out the channel, I do appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Nothing but thumbs up and much love to every one of you guys. But I know some of you guys it's already the next day for you folks. I'm still going to be like hitting the crib in a couple hours myself. Got to get up. Got to be, okay, I guess I banged the counter, something fell. The heck was that? Anyway, doesn't really matter, I guess. But the thing is, I'm actually might have to go to bed even earlier than that, because I think the truck's going to actually get these sooner. Got a truck delivery tomorrow at this new store. And the other one used to come around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. Not now. Now they're going to be coming early. That's going to suck. But anyway, so I'm going to let everybody go. Thanks for everybody being here. Thanks for the comments, the questions, all that good stuff, all the love you guys share with the channel. It's just awesome, and I do appreciate you all. Anyway, I'll let you guys know what's going on. Like I said, if you see a video pop up, obviously it's like, oh, right. So you got the schedule straightened out. If not, then I'll let you guys know what's going on maybe in the middle of the week, and then we'll still do our Friday. One way or the other, I'm going to be with you guys. So just, like I said, I appreciate everybody hanging out. Because like they're probably thinking, some people are thinking, oh, is the channel going away? No, not if we can help it. And like I said, I want to continue to do this. This is what I do. So, yeah, pretty much. So which is we're still going to be in there rocking it. Anyway, everybody have yourself a great night, great weekend coming up. Again, unfortunately, I got to work my butt off tomorrow, and then I might have maybe the afternoon of Saturday, and then Sunday, and I'm right back at the grind. So it is what it is. Got to make them pennies. You know what I'm saying? But everybody, be safe. Much love to you all. We'll talk to you soon. What time is it now? Well, wait about 10 minutes. We'll get right there on the hour, and we'll shut her off. So everybody, be careful. We'll see you soon. Peace.